Man. Woo. Man, what is happening? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Huh? How's everybody doing? We in here. Yeah, yeah. Salute. Salute to T Money, David, Claw, Scouts Malone, Rudy the Vet, Russo, Scouts Malone. What's happening? Whew, whew. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Shout out to everybody out there. So I guess so now. Everybody wants to be on the side with the Ukraine. You can tell these countries have poor leadership. Everybody jumping on the Ukraine. That's such a dumbass move to jump on Ukraine's side. To jump on Ukraine's side is so stupid. To jump on Ukraine's side is so stupid. It's so stupid. They just making us flex our muscles. Everybody's just making us flex our muscles. It's so stupid.
What started as a meeting at the White House to discuss a potential deal to end the war in Ukraine quickly turned into a heated exchange between President Trump and President Zelensky. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sam Olson. Thanks for joining us tonight. Mainers are now reacting to yesterday's clash in the Oval Office, where the two presidents were expected to sign a deal for Ukraine's rare earth minerals in exchange for U.S. support and long-term security. Take a listen.
You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
I'm not
cards.
playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
I'm
Yeah, you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. Fred.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling with the lives of
world.
millions of people.
You think
You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you far more than a lot of people said they should have.
After that exchange, top Trump advisors asked the Ukrainian leader to leave the White House. Some leaders in Maine's congressional delegation are reacting to that tense meeting. Senator Angus King said, quote, "I hope this unfortunate meeting will not detract from the pursuit of an agreement that ends the bloodshed, recognizes and protects the sovereignty of Ukraine without appeasing the territorial ambitions of a murderous dictator." In a similar statement, Senator Susan Collins shared a message saying, quote, "I hope that they will reconvene and hold a more productive meeting to advance the cause of a just and lasting peace for the people of Ukraine who have been so brutally attacked by Vladimir Putin." Mainers also protested today, reacting to that meeting and other decisions President.
Oh wow. So Maine's not rocking with us, man. Damn. Um, Maine's not rocking with us.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has arrived at Downing Street in London for talks with the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Zelensky is in the UK to rally support for Ukraine after he clashed with US President Donald Trump at the White House. Other European leaders will be joining a summit in the British capital on Sunday to discuss security in the event of any ceasefire or peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine. Starmer gave the Ukrainian leader a warm welcome to number 10 Downing Street.
Well, let me just say that you're very, very welcome here in Downing Street. And as you heard from the cheers on the street outside, you have full backing across the United Kingdom. And we stand with you, with Ukraine, for as long as it may take. And I hope you've heard some of that cheering in the street.
This fucking goddamn. So they bending over backwards for this goddamn. This Slavic piece of shit.
That is the people of the United Kingdom coming out to demonstrate how much they support you, how much they support Ukraine, and our absolute determination.
Jeez. They say Donald Trump's meeting was scripted and planned and rehearsed. Listen to this shit. Press 1.
To stand with unwavering determination and to achieve what we both want to achieve, which is a lasting peace for Ukraine based on sovereignty and security for Ukraine. So important for Ukraine, so important for Europe, and so important for the United Kingdom. So I'm much looking forward to our discussions here this afternoon. Thank you very much for taking the time to chat. With pleasure.
Yo, he might as well have just given him a blowjob, man. Yo, you should have just gave him a blowjob, man. You'd have kept more dignity if you give him a blowjob. I'd have respected you more if you just given him a blowjob. Press 1.
Thank you very much, Keir, Mr. Prime Minister, having me here. And really, I saw a lot of people, and I want to thank you, people of the United Kingdom, such big support from the very beginning of this war. Thank you, your team. And I'm very happy that His Majesty the King accepted my meeting tomorrow. And I'm thankful that you organized such a summit for tomorrow. And we are very happy in Ukraine that we have such strategic partners. We signed with you historic document. 100 years every year, we have only with you such documents with the United Kingdom. So we're happy, and we count on your support, and really happy that you have such partners and such friends.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, TJ.
Let's bring in our correspondents, Terry Schultz in Brussels and Nick Connolly in Kyiv. Terry, we'll start with you. That welcome and what we can see of the meeting at number 10 could not have been more different than the one we witnessed yesterday in the White House. Can we expect European leaders to shore up support for Ukraine and act swiftly in supporting Kyiv?
Well, you've just seen that I think we can. Prime Minister Starmer knows the entire world is watching how he navigates this very delicate diplomatic situation. And he's clearly chosen to embrace and shore up Ukrainian President Zelensky, who, as you said, will also be meeting the king, which is something, of course, that President Trump is also going to do. You know, who could have imagined what a dilemma this would be for leaders, that they might have to worry that if they show support for Ukraine, this
resources Europe can bring together and how quickly they can mobilize them. I mean, it's been clear since Trump got back to the White House that he wants to reduce that US support for Ukraine. He thinks they're giving too much. So it was kind of already clear to the Europeans they would have to step up, but it's going to seemingly have to happen a lot faster than anyone here in Europe had expected. I think more broadly, it's also going to be about maybe finding some kind of intermediary, right? I think, it's unlikely. It's difficult to see how you can imagine Trump and Zelensky meeting one-on-one in the future, without any kind of mediation. So maybe next time there'll be a Starmer or a Giorgia Meloni, say, traveling with them, trying to keep the peace and trying to kind of make sure that everyone sticks to the script. I think there has been considerable surprise here in Ukraine, and positive surprise quite how strong that European reaction has been and quite how kind of out there those pronouncements have been for European leaders. Certainly talking to Ukrainians here in Kyiv today, it's pretty hard to find someone who is openly critical of Zelensky. They might realize that this all comes with problems for Ukraine, but certainly the kind of consensus opinion is he couldn't have behaved otherwise. Had he given in, had he let Trump tell him what to do, then that would have been the first of many concessions. So it is a scary time here, but also one where people in Ukraine think that actually Europe might finally be stepping up.
And Terry, the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte has said, and I'm quoting now, it is important that President Zelensky finds a way to restore his relationship with the American president. How is NATO positioning itself in this spat?
Well, Michael, I don't think you can equate what Secretary General Rutte said with all of NATO, which is 32 countries, including the United States. And I was quite shocked by some of those statements from Mark Rutte saying that basically it was up to Zelensky, that he has impressed upon President Zelensky that it is his job to make up with President Trump. He didn't have any criticism of the way that the Trump administration behaved yesterday. And I don't think that that's a position that is widely held by the European members of NATO. So I think there's a difference, and you have to look at each country's response by itself, as Nick said.
Yeah, if you're gonna fucking lecture us and shit about decorum and behavior and shit, don't even, just save it, man.
What started as a meeting at the White House to discuss a potential...
Save it, man. Save it, man. We're not even trying to hear this bullshit, no lecture from you fucking spineless world leaders in Europe. All of you are spineless. All of you are fucking punani. Every European leader is straight punani. Canada. Let me go to everybody hit the like button, man. Smash everybody hit the like button, man. I'm gonna bring the panel up early tonight, man. Everyone smash the like, man. Smash the like button, man. Look at the shit we gotta deal with as the United States. Look at the shit we gotta deal with. This is unconscionable.
Not understand how is it that we have to give rare minerals to the United States?
Oh, you don't understand? Allow me to show you. This is why you need to give rare minerals to the United States. Because here's the aid Ukraine got. This is just direct money. This isn't counting all the fucking weapons we've given you. This isn't counting the arms, the munitions, the humanitarian aid. But this is just direct cash. This is why we get your fucking mineral rights. For all the people that are like, well, Europe contributed a ton of money. Yeah, in fucking loans. Here's the government support to Ukraine. Green are grants. Gray are guarantees. Blue.
Damn. Look at that shit, man. This is terrible the way we're being treated, man. We're being told, okay, well, fuck you. By some people we've given it. We're getting treated like Ukraine's treating us like they're our teenage fucking daughter and shit. Ukraine is not our teenage daughter, man. Canada is. Press 1. Ukraine can't treat us like they're our teenage daughter. Canada's our teenage daughter. And Britain's our teenage daughter. I refuse to be treated like by Ukraine like she's my teenage daughter. This shit is unconscionable, man. Fuck them, man. You owe us, man. We've done all this shit. This is the most nigga shit I've ever seen from Europe. This is some shit a nigga would do. This some shit a nigga would do. You'll look out for a nigga, and then the first time you tell a nigga no, they want to fucking turn on you and shit. Let me find out Ukraine is on some nigga shit.
Are loans. So yeah, sure, when you add up all EU together, their money gets close to ours. However, 90% of what they've given to Ukraine is in the form of fucking loans because Europe isn't fucking stupid and they want to be paid back. America, on the other hand, we just give them fucking money. We just keep giving it. Yeah, America's the bad guy here. The EU loans them money. They're the good guys. We just give the money and we're the bad ones.
Not understand.
Yeah, and look at this fucking tranny right here. Bitch, you look like a tranny. The sad part is you look like a tranny, and it's clear you're not a tranny. Like, you look like a woman, but you look just enough like a tranny that it's like, damn. Sad. Like, you don't even look like a tranny where it's like, it's clear you're a tranny. You look like a woman, but you got tranny essence and shit. Fuck you, bitch. Give us your minerals or shut the fuck up.
Mr. President, thank you. In China, in Syria, in Egypt, and now in Russia, we've seen you make strong statements.
Obama's political power is over, man. He has no political power in the United States. Maybe the people in the world haven't gotten the memo that Obama literally has no political gravitas anymore. He went down with Kamala. He went down with Kamala. He got in Kamala's ship and went the fuck down. The world probably thinks it's still like 2020 with Obama. It's not. Americans don't respect Obama like they used to. He doesn't have the same gravitas.
Issue warnings that have been ignored. Are you concerned that America's influence in the world, your influence in the world, is on the decline? And in the light of recent developments, do you think Mitt Romney had a point when he said that Russia is America's biggest geopolitical foe? If not Russia, who?
With respect to the situation in Ukraine, we have not gone to war with Russia. I think there's a significant precedent to that.
This is 2014. This is from 2014.
In the past. That does not mean that Russia's not isolated. In fact, Russia's far more isolated in this instance than it was 5 years ago with respect to Georgia, and more isolated than it was certainly during most of the 20th century when it was part of the Soviet Union. The point is that there are always going to be bad things that happen around the world. With respect to Mr. Romney's assertion that Russia is our number one geopolitical foe, the truth of the matter is that America's got a whole lot of challenges. Russia is a regional power that is threatening some of its immediate neighbors, not out of strength, but out of weakness. Ukraine has been a country in which Russia had enormous influence for decades, since the breakup of the Soviet Union. And we have considerable influence on our neighbors. We generally don't need to invade them in order to have a strong cooperative relationship with them. The fact that Russia felt compelled to go in militarily and lay bare these violations of international law indicates less influence, not more. And so my response then continues to be what I believe today, which is Russia's actions are a problem. They don't pose the number one national security threat to the United States. I continue to be much more concerned when it comes to our security with the prospect of a nuclear weapon going off in Manhattan.
Julie Pace, Associated Press.
You've been
That's when Obama was Obama. No one cares what he has to say now, though. This one says most Americans agree with President Trump's approach on Ukraine and Zelensky. So Europe better step up because Americans have had enough of the BS. They don't want World War III. Do you want Ukraine to continue their war against Russia or negotiate with a settlement with Russia? 72% say negotiate a settlement. But that was before yesterday. That was before yesterday. The media is in this country still controlled by liberals, and they've fucking branded this the worst thing that's ever happened. Do you favor or oppose Donald Trump announcing direct U.S.-Russia negotiations to end the war? Everybody, all these liberals want to fight. All these fucking dumbass liberals want to fight wars, and none of them want to fucking go. None of them, all of them are fucking pussies, and none of them would ever want to really fight a war. Let's see what else is going on, man. Let's do TikTok, man. Let's do TikTok, man. Everybody hit the like button, man. Hit the like button, man. Hit the like button, man. Yeah, man. This is ridiculous, man. The way they're disrespecting us, man, they're treating us like they're our teenage daughter. Like, we don't owe you shit, man. We're getting treated like a piece of shit. My daughter, she already starting to treat me like that, man. No matter what you do for them, they still not satisfied.
Holy shit, guys. Trump just went off.
I am Ukrainian, and this is my car. I am Ukrainian, and this is my church. I am Ukrainian, and this is my bridge. I am Ukrainian, and this is my gas station. I am Ukrainian, and this is my school.
Hey, I'm American, and this is my dick. Yo, then go back to Ukraine. This is America. These people are protesting in America. Go back and fight. Go back to the Ukraine. Do like the Arabs do with the jihad. You want my respect? Do like the Arabs do. The Arabs, they do a jihad. Ukrainians protest in Times Square. Do a jihad. All Ukrainians from the Ukrainian diaspora, Go back and fight. What are you protesting in America for? Go back and fight against Russia. This is disrespectful, man.
Why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if you own a suit.
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not
Really?
respecting.
I don't have such. I will wear a costume after this war will finish. Yes, maybe. Well, maybe something like yours. Yes, maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper.
Jesus Christ.
This man is fighting for his country. A sovereign nation got invaded. His people were dying.
So fuck
This
him.
motherfucker talks about him wearing a suit. I hate this fucking country.
All right, great, then leave.
I've never in my life felt like I do right now.
Why don't you wear?
Hey, pussy, you need a ride to the airport? Do you need a ride to the airport, you fucking pussy?
This man is fighting for his country. A sovereign nation got invaded. His people were dying. And this motherfucker talks about him wearing a suit. I hate this fucking country.
The thing about it that's so fucked up too is that liberal women won't give him no pussy. Liberal women liberal women wouldn't give this guy no pussy. She'd fuck somebody like she'd fuck a conservative before she'd fuck him. A liberal woman's not gonna give this guy any pussy. He's a weenie. You already know what liberal women like, man. They like masculine men, man. They're just retarded libs.
I've never in my life felt like I do right now. I don't give a fuck what he wears. This man has been respectful to every leader in the world.
He's been going around with a goddamn collection plate that says billions only on it. Are you serious? He hasn't been respectful. He's been going around with a collection plate for the last 3 years. He's a money pit. If he was so fucking respectful, he'd have came groveling on his fucking hands and knees with the audacity to ask us for more money after we've already given $350 billion.
Everybody. And you clowns want to fucking...
Oh, shit.
Why don't you wear a suit?
do that shit to him when he comes over here. And then talk to him like shit and kick him out of the White House.
Yep. Yeah. Yes. And when are you leaving? And do you need a ride to the airport?
You fucking disgraceful son of a bitches. Man, I just want to be next to Zelensky right now.
I think this guy's trolling. Who thinks this guy's trolling, man? He might be trolling liberals, man. This guy might be actually trolling liberals, man. He might be trolling liberals, man. This is too over the top, man. You say, look at his past videos. Nah, no thank you. No thank you. Fuck this clown, but no thank you. No thank you. Just watching this made my fucking balls go in my stomach.
I wish I could talk to him. Forgive us. God damn, man. I can't. Sorry, y'all. I can't believe what I just witnessed in our White House.
What a fucking weenie, man. What a fucking weenie. What a fucking weenie.
So I'm sure most of you have either seen or heard about the interaction between President Trump, Vice President Vance, and President Zelensky in the Oval Office today. If you're not aware of what I'm talking about, just Google it and watch it for a couple minutes and then come back here. The interaction was grotesque and embarrassing as an American. And no sooner had President Zelensky left the Oval Office did Lindsey Graham take to the gaggle of microphones at his disposal to say how he was embarrassed for President Zelensky and how he was so proud of President Trump and Vice President Vance and how he doesn't know if he could ever do business with Zelensky again. Republican pundits, talking heads, and social media personalities are all taking to their phones and saying how great it was to see President Trump and Vice President Vance stand up for our country, stand up to Vladimir Zelensky. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to tag Ukraine, President Zelensky, and World Talk on this video. I want to show America and however many countries I can reach just how many Americans stand with President Zelensky and do not stand with a dictator like Vladimir Putin, despite Donald Trump trying to champion Vladimir Putin's talking points in the Oval Office. Although President Trump was right about one thing today, the United States of America was disrespected in the Oval Office, but it wasn't by Vladimir Zelensky. We stand with Ukraine and we support Ukraine's efforts to beat.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ. There's so many vagina men in the fucking United States. What's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
What's your thoughts?
You don't even want to get me started on TikTok, man. You don't even want to get me started on TikTok, man.
Yeah.
But these people just screaming out, talking. These are the same fucking people. The same people that are supposed to be the anti-war left talking about Vladimir Putin just invaded a sovereign country. Motherfucker, we went into Iraq. We went into Syria. We went into Libya. We've been bombing Yemen for years, but all of a sudden, Putin, like, you can break this down, man. It goes back to 92. James Baker, Jeffrey Sachs went over there with an American delegation to help Boris Yeltsin get that country right after they dissolved the Soviet Union. They signed an agreement that said no NATO countries 1 inch to the east. when the Russians decided to dissolve the Soviet fucking Union. Okay? Brother, I would love for you to pull up a map of NATO in 1992 and NATO today, man, and show me where.
Yeah, America should. Am I on?
Yeah, I mean, and show me
Okay.
show me where we held our agreement. And listen, I'm pro. I love America. I hate our fucking government. I hate what happened in 1913. I hate the Federal Reserve takeover and what they've done to our nation, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll fight and die for North Carolina. I'll fight and die for America, but I'm not going over there to fight your fucking wars for global fucking empire, man. You see what I'm saying? This is nothing but some pimp shit, man. This fucking guy, dog. Trump should have never let him out of the country. They should have blown his goddamn plane up, if you ask me, man. This shit would be a lot easier right now, man.
Okay.
Go ahead, man. What's up?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me. So, am I on? I don't know. I can't hear
go ahead. Speak. Speak.
Yeah, actually, like the beginning of the Ukraine war, I was like, I was like, oh shit, they're getting like raped and all that stuff. So I was into the Ukraine stuff, but since I've been changing my mind, like I'm got more conservative. You know, I'm like, you know, I don't know too much about it. I'm not, like wondering what's going on.
Oh, so you don't know what's going on, man. All right, man. We'll
yeah, well, I know Trump and Zelensky had a meeting today. That's, you know, and then it didn't go well for Zelensky.
All right, we'll just drop you down, man, and we'll bring you back up later on, man. Nice, thank you, man. We'll bring you back up later on, man. This is for people that actually know what's going on. Thank you, man. But appreciate you, man. Here go the map you was talking about, Rudy.
Yeah, you see that? Look at that. Look at all of those nations. Look at all of those. Look at all that blue. Look where, see that whole buffer zone? That whole buffer zone of the former Soviet Union?
You talking about this one, but Poland, they weren't supposed to go past East Germany?
They weren't supposed to go. Once Germany became unified, there was supposed to be nothing. No more NATO. Look at it. Look at it, dude. Look at that map, man. Look at that map. Look at all of those countries that have flipped to NATO, man. Look at all of them. And then they were talking about the Ukraine becoming part of NATO. Putin, like you just heard Obama, man. The Russians were broken, man. They got their GDP. They were a regional power, man. They weren't a world power. The only thing that makes them ballsy is they got a lot of freaking nukes, man. You know what I'm saying? Their military wasn't up to par. They were doing their thing over there, selling gas. The Russian mafia was doing their thing, but they weren't going. And you hear these people on TV to this day talking about they're just going to roll through Europe. How the fuck are they going to roll through Europe when they're getting North Korean troops to help them fight Ukraine, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the fucking talking points of the CIA Operation Mockingbird media. And then you've got the DARPA app, the fucking Mockingbird media, the fucking Chinese putting idiots on TikTok that have no fucking clue, have done no fucking research. So I stand with Zelensky, man. Fuck that fucking corrupt, tiny hat wearing juice crew motherfucker, because he is 100% juice crew. Because in the beginning, when they were like, when people on the left and the right were calling out, hey, look, man, the Azov battalion were straight up fascist Nazis, people were like, well, Zelensky's Jewish. He's not. I mean, man, this shit is, man. I'm telling you, it's a money grab. It's a money. If you go back and look at when the Assange dropped the WikiLeaks, and let me explain something. My brother did 2 tours in Iraq and a tour in Afghanistan, and he was supposed to re-up in the Marines in Afghanistan. When he came home from Afghanistan, he didn't re-up. They sent him home, right? He didn't, his time was up. He came home. I said, man, I thought you were going to do 20. He told me that when he was in Afghanistan, he spent more time guarding poppy fields of Afghan warlords than anything else in Afghanistan. They had the United States Marines over there guarding Chinese miners and Afghan poppy fields, man, with our Marines. First
Shout
hand,
out to
he was there, bro. He was there. He did it. He did it.
wow. So shout out to my man TCT, man. Shout out to TCT, man. Supporting the channel, man. Make sure you support the channel. Your PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat, man. We going in, man. This is so disrespectful, man. The way they treating us, man. They treating us like ungratefully. In our country, we have a country where like whenever the left is not in power, they're always riding with our foreign enemies. Always. It's treasonous, man. The way the left reacts. I remember a few years ago when Iran. Remember we had tension with Iran. They were all riding with Iran because Trump was in office. Whenever the Republicans in office, remember when Bush? They were all like acting like Afghanistan. They were all riding with Afghanistan and Iraq. They were mad because we were bombing the shit out of those desert demons over there. Even though those desert demons treat women like shit. Whenever there's a Republican in office, women's rights go out the window. You notice that? They don't care about the way the desert demon treats his woman. It's just insane.
Think about it like this. Let's just use some basic fucking logic, okay? Basic logic. Where did they find weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, man? When did they? What weapons did they have? Because that's the whole basis they used to go in there and invade Iraq, and they found absolutely nothing. Absolutely,
yeah, but here's the thing: fuck them. The
point is, the point I'm getting at though is we shouldn't even have been there, man. We should have never done that. It's called. There's a paper, man. Anybody in this chat wants to read. That was released in 1998 called the Project for a New American Century. It was a neoliberal, because there was a time like in the late 90s, we were it. There was no superpowers. We didn't let China rise. We didn't let them into WTO. We were the world's hegemon. They released these white papers called the Project for a New American Century. And in that paperwork, they described how they wanted to go and topple the entire Middle East. They wanted to topple 7 nations in the Middle East, right? And they said, but we can't get the American people behind this without a cataclysmic Pearl Harbor event in those papers. Lo and behold, 3 years after those papers drop, the towers come down and the whole goddamn plan unfolds. The whole goddamn plan unfolds, man. 5 of those 7 nations have been toppled. There's Iraq and Pakistan are the only 2 left, man. I mean, Iran and Pakistan are the only 2 that we haven't completely went in there and fucked. We went into Syria. We went into Libya. We went into Iraq. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't trust that. I don't trust desert demons, though, man. I don't trust desert demons. I think desert demons. Yeah.
I don't trust them either. But what? Dude, we got enough. We have more oil reserves in this fucking country than the whole entire world combined, man. And Trump's on that. I mean, listen, and I'm not a Trump sycophant, but you know, if you listen to the foreign policy coming out of this White House right now, they're on some fucking Monroe Doctrine, man. We're gonna take care of this hemisphere. You stay the fuck out of our side, we're gonna stay the fuck out of your side. That's why he's trying to pull out of that NATO shit. And fuck them goddamn Europeans, man. Because they sit there and they look down on us, like you said, they disrespect the shit out of us, but we've been funding their fucking security for the last 30 fucking years, man. They don't spend shit. Trump's been screaming that shit since 6, and he's been on point with the foreign policy, man. We've been paying for these fucking people for years while they have their socialized medicine. And they're
like the Menendez brothers. Europe is like the Menendez brothers. They got these rich parents that give them everything, and the first time the parents say no, they fucking try to kill them.
Bro, there's more U.S.
Got to make a peace deal. What's the attitude
in
America?
Go ahead.
There's more U.S. troops in Ramstein Air Force Base and Aviano Air Force Base in Germany and Italy than the entire country of the United Kingdom. We have more American troops in 2 European bases than the entire country of the UK, man.
Yep. People, they're forcing us to flex our power, to swing our nuts. And by forcing Trump to swing his nuts, I guess they're hoping that he helps them instead of retreats from them. You know what I mean? They're like kind of like suckering him into like, yeah, go ahead, let your nuts hang and protect us rather than like just take your fucking ball and go home.
Now let's go over to the States to Shamika Michelle, who joins us. Shamika, always great to chat to you.
Wow.
You're right there at the moment in the heart.
Shamika Michelle on fucking Sky News, man. She done stepped her game up, man.
Out of it all, what did you enjoy the spectacle, the great television from the great television maestro himself, Donald Trump? You thought The Apprentice was good. Here's the Oval Office brought to us all. What's the feeling in America? Are, as Rita was saying beforehand, Americans relieved that Donald Trump has stood up to Zelensky and said, we're not going to be spending any more money on you. You've got to make a peace deal. What's the attitude in America, Shamika?
Yeah, obviously the left is having a fit, right? They're crazy. They are going to go against everything simply because they don't care about the American people. If it was up to them, we would just keep sending billions and billions of dollars over to Ukraine while Americans actually suffer and can barely pay for eggs. But for the rest of us, those of us who have common sense and any type of sanity, we are so grateful for President Trump. What we saw, this display in the White House yesterday is exactly what we voted for him for. We want someone who is tough, someone who is going to put America first, and someone who's just not afraid to be hated. Trump is not afraid for people to criticize him, and we appreciate that. And for those of us that campaigned over the last 4 years after what happened in 2024, we are really just basking in glory right now. We are so happy.
Well, this is what a lot of people don't understand, Shamika, particularly here in Australia, that this wouldn't have come as an enormous surprise to Americans. This was something that Donald Trump has talked about, he's campaigned about. They don't want to see billions going from America to Ukraine, no matter how good that cause may be. It is something that the American public have changed their mind on, because back in 2022, there was support for the amount of funding that was going to Ukraine. But even by last year, it was clear it was only a minority position. So tell me about that change where people were quite happy for America to fund Ukraine's defense, but now they have said no more.
You know, I think for those who actually initially supported it, they didn't really expect it to be the amount that it has been. Not only that, you have to remember we've had an influx of illegal immigrants that have come across, that have just really put a burden on things. And people are angry. People in the inner cities have said, hey, you're bringing all of these illegal immigrants in. They get checks and they get all of this cash. We're sending all of this money to Ukraine. And I really think all of those things compiled is why Trump won. And it's why the Democrats lost. And I do think some of the Democrats are saying, hey, wait a minute, what's going on? Or just some of the more sensible Republicans. But there are people like myself whose pockets have always been touching a little bit, that have been a little thin, that never wanted this money to go anywhere but to those here in America in need. Like, I understand that we have to do some type of foreign aid and we have to help people in need at times, but it's just been a lot. Biden was a terrible president, and he really cared more about putting himself in a better stance, I think, with his own personal pockets than actually doing what we needed him to do in America for Americans. And so I think it's just a compiled amount of things that people are saying, no more. We're tired and something has to change here. You know, when eggs are $13 a dozen, I think people are just saying something has to change. If we have this amount of money, let's funnel it into those who are most in need.
James.
Shamika, give us an insight into the thinking of Donald Trump. I mean, he referred to Zelensky as a dictator, then he kind of walked that back. Trump had made a big deal about the fact he was going to bring peace. He's since tweeted after this meeting that Zelensky's not ready for peace. He should come back when he's ready. Where does this go from here? What's Trump's thinking on the future of this negotiation?
You know, I really think Trump just didn't like the disrespect. If we watch from the beginning of the meeting, Zelensky was already disrespectful. The way he came in, dressed, his body language. There were times when Trump said something and Zelensky, he rolled his eyes up in his head, or he would mess with his nose, or it's like he was completely uncomfortable with the things that was being said. So I can only imagine, if I'm watching this and what I'm seeing, what the energy was like in the room. So I think if he actually comes back with a different approach, then perhaps Trump is going to still, go after the help, because I do think Trump wants the war to stop. I do think that he's concerned about the people and he wants to make a peace deal. But Trump is just not the type of man that's going to let someone disrespect them. And I think Zelensky came in with the ultimate Napoleon complex, just being very disrespectful from the start. And I think that Trump is not having it. Thank God we have a very outspoken vice president. J.D. Vance is not having it. And I think that Zelensky needs to go back, think about his actions, and come forward with the appreciation that they said he should have, because he should. And I think he just hasn't had to have that before. He was able to come and say whatever he wanted to during the Biden administration. And now those things have changed. So, but I do think that Trump really wants the war to stop, and he's ready to help with a peace deal. But Zelensky has to get over himself, and he needs to do it quickly.
Rita.
It seems like Zelensky is not fully appreciating that the people he needs most are no longer in power. So he's got all the Europeans and countries around the world who are full of praise, but they're not going to send troops. They're not going to send money. They're not going to arm Ukraine. So they're not going to help his war effort. And obviously the Democrats are very receptive to his message, but now there's a change in administration. It seems, Shamika, he went in there not appreciating other.
Oh, you didn't talking.
What's your thoughts, Wicked? What's your thoughts?
I think, like I said yesterday, I think the Zelensky, I think he owes us $500 billion.
Facts, Wicked.
Yeah. This is just so annoying, man. These liberals, man, they still control. One thing that's evident now is that they still fucking control the mainstream media, man. I mean, they have a stranglehold on it, because I haven't heard anything good about this other than Fox News. Fox News, I will say, is kind of acting like the old Fox News on this topic, but it's just like if you weren't an American, if you were watching American news as a foreigner, you would think it was like 90% of the people were against Trump.
But I mean, from what I've noticed, it's one of those things where if you like Trump, you love what he did, and if you don't like Trump, you hate what he did. Same shit as always, right?
No doubt, but the voices of the anti-Trump voices are so much louder. So much louder. It's
Yeah, there's like so many liberal media outlets and so much liberal like propaganda outlets.
Yeah, let me go ahead and show y'all guys. Let me go ahead and switch gears right quick, man. Shout out to Big Larry. Big Larry in the building, man. We're gonna monitor that situation though over there in the Ukraine.
Hey, can I tell Wicked something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wicked, last night when I was out on the porch, you were like, "Hey, is that roosters?" Yeah, man. You know what? I haven't. You know why I don't bitch about the price of eggs, brother? Because I got
yeah.
I got 8 hens and a rooster out back, my man.
Wait, so do you live like in an urban area or like a
Bro,
rural
I grew
area?
up in Norfolk, Virginia, right? Ocknose, Norfolk. And in 2020, man, I just had enough of society, man. So I ran and bought me a piece of property 70 miles south out in the middle of nowhere, North Carolina. I try to
Right.
my own food as I can. I got some chickens, got some yard birds, man. So I don't pay for eggs. I've been learning
Yeah.
how to can, man. I've been basically prepping, just learning how to prep, man.
Oh, okay,
Wow.
okay. Yo, I believe it or not, over here in Chicago, right? There's a couple of Hispanic neighborhoods that you'll see like roosters and chickens walking around. And you know, and,
Damn.
and people don't really see that, so they're always like amused by it. You know what I mean?
So
Nah,
do you churn your own butter and all that shit, man?
nah. But you know, I grow cucumbers. I grow a bunch of peppers. I
Yeah,
learned
me too.
I learned how to can last year, man. So I'm canning up vegetables, man. I got a rack of I planted a bunch of raspberry, blueberry, and blackberry bushes all over my property, and this is year 4 of them, man. So I'm really going out there and by midsummer, man, and I could fill up jars and jars of fresh fruit and stuff, man. Just trying to. I mean, you see the poison they feed us, man. I'm just trying to do the
Yeah.
best I can to make my own food, man. You know what I'm saying?
See, I do all of that too, bro, but I do it as a hobby. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like I have like a whole garden, a vegetable
Yeah,
garden, but I do it as like a therapeutic kind of deal, if that makes
yeah,
sense.
me too, Wicked. Like it, ain't- I like, dude. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm 100% self sufficient, but as much as if I, when I get up in the morning, I spend an hour outside in my yard in the summertime,
Right.
just
Take
tending
care.
the
Yeah.
garden,
Exactly.
doing my thing before I go to the gym and go to work, man. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, it is. It's. Hey, man, what did Sun Tzu said, man? I'd rather be a warrior gardener, man. I'm just trying to be a gardener, man.
Right, right. I even
So
like
look,
I even like tend into like to my garden too, you know, like the roses, pruning them and whatnot, the rose bushes and whatnot. I just find it to be very
It's relaxing, ain't it?
relaxing, yeah, to just see them grow and whatnot.
It is a beautiful thing, man. This year's plan, man. I'm gonna put in four apple trees and 4 pear trees, man. So
Nice.
in about 4 or 5 years, man, I'll be getting fresh apples and pears, man.
wow. Shout out to Bug Off, man. Bug Off in the building, man. Salute to you, man. This was an interesting stat, man. I saw, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you, man.
I mean, don't get
Did
me
you?
wrong though, Chief. Don't real quick, just to end the last one. Don't get me wrong, Ignation. I still like to shoot my pistols too, you know, shoot my AR
Hey,
here and
but
there.
wicked. I do that shit in my yard every day. I shoot my rifles,
Right,
my pistols, man.
right.
Hey,
Don't get
listen,
me wrong.
this is the funny shit here, Wicked. I New Year's, right? New Year's, man. I whip out I got everything out, man. I got everything I own out, man. I'm busting. My neighbor comes over. You know what I'm saying? We got about an acre in between us. He walks over with his 3. He's busting. Then
Yeah,
we got another neighbor on the other side about another acre
right.
away. He comes over. All 3 of us are just dumping everything
Exactly.
and
See,
nobody's coming, dude. Nobody's coming to see.
yeah, yeah. See, my family got we have like some land outside of the city, like maybe about an hour away. And when I'm out there, like all time of the day, you'll just hear in like the background, fa fa fa. White boys love their guns, you know?
Yes, we do, Wicked. Yes, we do.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, man. Yeah, that's wonderful, man. Uh, the ones who love their guns the most, man. You never see them shooting like here where I'm at. Yeah, they got a lot of. You just don't see them like shooting each other. You just don't see them shooting people. They almost
No,
never use their
no.
guns.
They
Um,
they shoot them like they shoot at targets, but not
yeah,
not like these shitheads running around shooting kids and whatnot.
yeah. This is in 2022, every Lyft Uber driver killed on the job was killed by a black guy. All 13 of them.
Every single one.
Yeah, and listen, that's the last year they have the data for, but we know that that's every year.
Yeah. You know, I saw one recently. I forget where I had maybe here, but they gunned down some shit with an Uber driver, and it just had me thinking like, wow, the same shit that's occurred in New York City with the taxi drivers, where they were terrified to pick up Sunday, and they were complaining like, why don't you pick up Sunday? Because they don't want to die, motherfucker.
This is a
Wait,
great
you
stat
guys
though.
have concealed carry up there in Illinois?
Yeah, it's here. Even over here, even in the city, there's concealed carry now. But you know, Illinois, they gotta get their money though. It's gonna cost you.
Yeah, because I mean, I got mine. I'm 24/7, dude. I'm concealed carry, man. I carry mine. I still work
Yeah.
in Hampton Roads, man, driving a tow truck all night long. So
Yeah,
you
you
got
gotta a
it.
tow truck. Yeah, you gotta have a pistol. If you're
got
in
mine
a tow
everywhere
truck.
I go, bro. Everywhere I
Yeah,
go.
same here. Like I kind of feel uncomfortable not having it. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like one of those things. Like
Oh yeah, if you Biggie, like Biggie said, he said checking for my Smith and Wesson like my dick was missing.
right. I mean, and
Yeah. What?
it's one thing, but news is
You
another.
breaking up?
Like you just gotta
We
be.
didn't hear. You breaking up,
Can you
man?
hear me?
Nah,
Can you
you
hear me?
breaking up. You breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
What I was saying was, and you know this, Rudy, but having your pistol is one thing, but being on your P's and Q's is another.
Yeah, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, brother.
You gotta have situational awareness. Like, what good is it to have it and have your head up your ass? You might as well not have it.
Yeah, but if you're an Uber driver, just about this Uber situation though, if you're an Uber driver, like having it ain't gonna help you because you're driving and you're in front of them and they're
that's
behind
tough.
you.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
And like, what is the deal with robbing Uber drivers? It's such a low reward robbery and such a high risk as far as the time you're going to get. It's just amazing, man. That you would think that, like you said, because I grew up in the era where, as a black man, it's very hard to catch a cab, right? Very hard to catch a cab. I used to tell my girl to hail the cab because this back when you would hail the cab, put your hands up and shit, and then when the cab would stop, I would come out. I would come from around the corner or whatever, and the cab would be like, "Oh shit, man, you got a son, man, with you?" It would be too late by then. It would be too late though by then. But it's just such a low rank fucking scoundrel, scummy fucking crime, man, to rob a Uber driver. And you would have thought that Uber, with the digitizing the transaction, and keeping a paper trail of the transaction, would have eliminated this from society, but it hasn't.
No. I mean, you're dealing with a people that don't really have foresight. You know, they're thinking about right here, right now. You know what I mean? Like they can't see past their deck. You know?
Yeah, but this one right here is just like so. Like you got to be able to see this one. You got to be able to see that, like even if, let's just say you get cute, right, and you use somebody else's cell phone or Uber account to call the Uber, it's still like that's still like somebody that the police are gonna go talk to, and
Right.
You know, tell them that that somebody was murdered or somebody was robbed on your account, and you're in trouble, and that person is going to snitch on you. And it's like sometimes they use their own account.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just
they do.
weird, man.
It's fucking. They're stupid.
The company I told for, man, we don't take cash no more, man. It's got to be Cash App or credit card, debit card.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to take cash no more, man.
Now, do you have that on your truck? Like, does it say no cash or some shit like that?
Well, we do a lot. We do a lot with through insurance companies, Wicked. So a lot of it's already prepaid. But sometimes when people call us directly, we tell them straight up. It's
but what I'm asking though is like, you know how like tow truck, like they have like company logos. They have like, how's my driving? Do you have on there no cash taken, or like there's no cash here?
When they call the office and they set up the tow, they'll be like, we only take Cash App.
But what I'm saying it for the son man that can read, the ones that are able to read, they could see that no cash, and maybe it'll deter some of them, you know?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I might put that out there to the boss, man. You know, but I'm in the projects all the time, man. Like, but I don't know. Like, as soon as they find out I'm not one of them companies that's ripping cars out of parking lots parked illegally, they usually have a good, you know. But I always got my head on the swivel, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, I hear what you're saying, but you still gotta be aware.
Oh, 100%.
You gotta be aware of who you're dealing with.
My head's always on a swivel, bro. Always on a swivel, man.
I mean, you make a great point, Chief. I mean, let's be honest. The detectives, they're gonna find you. They are. There's no way around it. You know what I mean? There's just so many. Like, look at the one you just had on the screen. There was a dash camera. A lot of these people have dash cameras already.
All of them have to have dash cameras now because of the violence being enacted upon them. They all got them now.
Right.
Just for safety, you know, just like to record their their robbery or to record their record these transactions. I bet probably, like, if you're an Uber driver and you don't have one, man,
right?
You'll probably looked at as like, they probably like ask you, like the police be like, if you get robbed, they're probably like, why you don't have a dash cam? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a fact.
And plus the dash cam, man, dude, you get a great insurance break just for having them dash cams, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's great. Yeah. Salute the bugger off, man. He said, here's a hot take. You fella keep suking about Soros and tiny hats for all your problems, but all these weaknesses in Western society, they exposed by being pricks. Without that, you'd say way worse off. You'd be way worse off. He said, you fellas keep suking about Soros and tiny hats for all your problems. But all these weaknesses in Western society, they're exposed by being pricks. Without that, you'd be way worse off.
Yeah, the second part is kind of
Yeah.
poorly written.
I'm trying to understand what you're saying, Buggo.
I mean, the first part I get, and it's true. Like, it's the Jewish crew's fault for everything, right? I get that part of the super chat, but he lost me in the second part.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, everything's the Jews' fault.
They got the white man pointing at the Jew. They got the black man pointing at the white man. You know what I'm saying? And now they got us all pointing at the immigrants, man. I mean, but the immigrants got to fucking go. Don't get me wrong, but you know, that's the divide and conquer that comes down the pipeline. Hey, white guys, it's all the Jews' fault. Hey, black guys, it's all the white man's fault. You know what I'm saying? And then, hey, America, it's all the immigrants' fault. When really the whole fucking problem is Washington, D.C., man.
So we'd be worse off without the Jews crew? Like, what are you saying? What's this guy saying?
Not what I'm saying is, look at it like
not
this.
you, the super chat. I was talking about the.
Oh.
We'd be worse off, what, like without the Jews crew, or anyway.
I mean, like I said last night, if Trump has a real set of fucking nuts, man, he'll drop all that Epstein shit and show that BB's behind the Mossad, BB's behind that blackmail operation, and fucking doesn't mean you have to abandon them motherfuckers, but reset the goddamn relationship to where we're the fucking bosses and they're not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's I don't see it happening either. But I mean, fuck, it's not like you have to abandon them as an ally, but you can fucking turn the tables where we're telling them what to do instead of them subversing us into doing what they fucking want us to do.
And that's what Trump is doing. Trump is definitely doing that, man. The thing about it is that like Trump will only have the House and the Senate for 2 years. I can already tell, man, by the way Republicans are acting, we're gonna lose the House and the Senate.
The Senate, we're not losing the Senate, man. When you look at the races coming up in 28, they're not gonna be able to flip that Senate. I mean, they might lose the House, but they ain't gonna be able to flip the Senate back.
Yeah, but they're gonna whatever can be lost, they will lose it. Because we're conceding too much to the already to the to the Democrats. The Democrats are just so fierce and so hardline and so on point with their politics. They play politics so well. Like they literally go against everything Trump does. I mean, everything. They never play the middle ground. They never see. Well, you can kind of see they're so hard line. And when someone holds a hard line, it's very hard to stop a hard line. Pause. Because they're all on point. They're 1,000% in unison against Trump, and that has an effect on the people, man. A lot of it will galvanize their base, and it's demoralizing. Like no matter how much you love Trump, every day hearing everything he does is wrong, and hearing all the politicians with a voice, because the Republicans, very few Republicans have a voice. There's no celebrity Republicans. You got Marjorie Taylor Greene or somebody like that, but it's way more celebrity Democrat politicians than there are celebrity Republican politicians.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So the in your mind's eye, it's demoralized. They demoralize you, and we laugh at them every day on The View. And I wish a lot of bigger like Tim Pool and all these bigger Republican platforms. I get that they're funny. I get it's funny, but we're laughing and shit, and they're serious. You know what I mean? Like you can laugh at your opponent but for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
We're doing a lot of laughing at them, and they're making ground. They're picking up ground. We got to take them seriously.
Yeah, they're focused.
Like almost every big Republican platform on YouTube spends the whole day laughing at them.
Yeah, like the What Is a Woman guy. He's he's pretty good. He's funny, but I see what you mean.
They're serious though.
Yeah,
they're not playing. And you can get lulled into just laughing your way into the midterms and looking up and losing the House and the Senate. You gotta be careful. We gotta be careful about laughing too much at them. They're funny. Yeah, they're fucking weird, and yeah, they're fucking disgusting and weird and shit. But they standing on it, and they standing firm on it.
Yeah.
Let me play this.
Bitch, you bro. You mad because I didn't give you my number, bitch. I spit in your face. So get the fuck out of my face.
Damn, the female.
Damn.
Ain't no joke.
Yo,
Bro.
she better be cool, man. Like don't forget. Remember, whenever I see shit like this, I get reminded of the video you put out like 3 years ago. Remember the one in New York City where this son man bit her eyeball when she rejected him and he bit her eyeball.
Yeah,
bitch, you bro. You mad because I didn't give you my number, bitch. I spit in your face. So get the fuck out of my face. On my brother, you won't. Bitch, you heard what I said. Bitch, like, okay, get out my face. What's up? What's up? Fuck out my face, bitch. You mad because I didn't give you my number, bitch. Fuck wrong with you? It don't matter. Get the fuck out my face, bitch. Get out my face, bitch. What's wrong with you? Make me.
Broke, bitch.
Make me. You mad because I didn't give you my number, bitch. That's fine. I get what I want. Look what you got on. What's wrong with you?
Go buy your shoes.
He mad because I didn't give him my number. Bitch, you mad because I didn't give you my number. What's wrong with you? Bitch, you broke.
A sunny interaction.
Yeah, I mean, look, we see the alarming rate at which the brothers delete sisters. You know, maybe this kind of explains a little bit of it.
Yeah, sister's got a lot of mouth. That's true. It says, listen to this white liberal mother cheering on her black son who she has transitioned. Sarah Hanson, a family nurse practitioner from Philadelphia, her son Sean Luce Allen of Plymouth Whitehurst Marsh High School will be competing this Sunday in the girls' 200-meter race at the Pennsylvania Indoor State Championship. Couldn't be more proud of Luce, running in their first invitational track meet. So she's a white woman. She's adopted a black kid, and just ironically, he's a transformer.
Come on, Liz! Come on, Liz!
It's disgusting, man. This shit is disgusting.
Unacceptable.
Just a fuck. He's just a sorry ass dude. He sucks too.
Right.
This shit right here. This is something that I'm saying. Like, we laughed. Remember in 2020? Oh, they just want to get married. We laughed at that shit.
Come on, Liz, you got it!
This is why you don't laugh at them, because you'll laugh. They want to get married. They just want to have gay marriage. Oh, that's crazy. Gay people can get married.
Yeah.
Next 10 years later, you got this shit.
It's kind of like the story of the rabbit and the hare. You know what I'm talking about? How like the rabbit was fucking around. He thought it was, funny. And he thought it was sweet. But the turtle was the hare.
Yeah.
The turtle was like you said, serious.
If he's gonna win, because he's got more muscles.
And
he sucks. He's probably not. He probably couldn't even qualify for a men's race.
Yeah, he would qualify if he does last.
The national population's rejecting that shit, man. Like that, they got polling that the best political ad that pushed voters was the one where they showed the trannies playing football and everything, in the Trump ad, and he's like, Kamala's for they them.
Yeah, that was good.
No, I got you on people are against it. But here's the thing. They've codified this in the law. During the Democrat administrations, they made this law. So you can't, so it's not just like a thing that's going on in society. They made it real.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah, trans shit is real. They literally have rights in the law.
But if that shit, the Title 12, the Supreme Court shot that down, man.
Title 9.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, if Trump really fucking, there's things like domestically, if he really holds that $250 million that Maine gets every year from the Department of Education, is like, yo, y'all ain't getting this fucking money this time. And he starts peeling the funding from these universities and these schools that keep doing this shit. They'll knock that shit off, man, because it's all, they'll knock that shit off.
But I mean, look at that video walk of the track, right? What's worse, like the dude racing with the girls, or the crowd just accepting it?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That woman should be should have some dark shades and have her a fucking trench coat on and shit, and have her fucking
the paper bag.
Have a scarf over her fucking head. She's out there yelling loudly. It's because that's what I'm saying about how like you can laugh at these people, but they if I had anything to say to the Republican or conservative podcasters and YouTubers and TikTokers, laugh for like the end of the month to the end of March, right? Get your laughs all your laughs out. But after that, you got to stop laughing at these people.
Yeah, but I mean,
people
even
are fucking serious, man.
But even then, I like look. Think about how impossible it is to like try to speak logic with like a sister or a liberal. It's just not gonna happen. Like I don't know. There's something. You get what I mean? Like they're hopeless.
Yeah, but you have to take them seriously. You have to take your enemy seriously.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
We're not from Africa, we are natives. This our land, we don't know about the slave ships. We're not from Africa, we indigenous. I need you to listen, I need you to be getting this. We not black, we not black. Know your story, family history, that's stats. We not black, that's a curse. Let's put this curse to rest and be blessed, yes. We indigenous, this land was our ancestors' home. What they taught us in school about slaves was wrong. It was a scare tactic, they got the children first. So we believe that this land was not ours. Divide and conquer, eugenics, terror and fear. But we're the generation and our mission is clear. It's time to unite and get our heritage back. Like God intended.
And she still got blonde hair.
Stop living in life.
We're not from Africa, we are natives. This our land, we don't know about no slave ships. We're not from Africa, we indigenous. I need you to listen, I need you to be getting this. We're not black, we're not black. Know your story, family history, that's stats. We're not black, that's a curse. Let's put the curse to rest.
That's a curse.
Yes. Black and white, it don't exist. Can't group us together, you gotta be specific. All these immigrants surviving day by day. Indigenous rising, you know we here to stay. Black is not a color, black is not a race. Whole time playing in our face. They've been trying to black us out with the word black, but we was here first. You can't argue facts.
So I'm so confused by the pretendians. I mean, I get what you said. You explained it very well. But even with what you said, like it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
It doesn't make any sense to them, though. It doesn't make any sense. None of them are basing this on anything real. They're basing it on, oh, people are saying this. Oh, yeah, some Hotep said this. Oh, yeah, well, damn. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like I said before, where this comes from is Africa fucking sucks. Okay? Africa sucks. It's awful. All right. Even the bright spots, even the cool shit about Africa is cool. Like it's kind of cool. Like you know,
and pyramids.
No, but it's like when you like my son, right? Like when he like makes a development. It's like cool. It's like, yeah, oh, he's walking now, or oh, he's rolling over. But like, yeah, great, he's rolling over. But everybody, all people are like, we're past. It's like as an adult watching my son roll over, it's good for him. But if he was a 47-year-old man, that wouldn't be no big deal, rolling over. You know what I'm saying, on his stomach or lifting his head up. It's like we African, everything that's good in Africa is on a curve. It's good on the curve. Like if you have an African city that's just not a complete dump, they'll get praise for that. If you have an African leader that, you know, isn't a complete fucking scoundrel, you get praise for that.
Fine. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like Africa fucking sucks, and these people know it. These fucking people know Africa sucks.
But
And they're
my
distancing themselves from Africa.
yeah, but my thing about what you just said, and I agree with you. But my thing about that is, why did they romanticize the natives here? Like their
Because
shit
that's where they're
wasn't
from.
perfect.
We're here. If they were from fucking Czechoslovakia, whatever native people in Czechoslovakia, they'd be saying they were those people. If
Yeah,
they were from fucking Norway, they would be saying they were the original Norwegians. If they were from
Right.
fucking
Okay, I
Japan,
got
they
you.
would be saying the original Japan.
But there is something.
Okay.
There is something in there to be said about, you know, when he said the lyric, like, we're not black, we're not white. Like, dude, we all
Not
have.
cursed.
Like, I'm an Italian, and you're from that. Like, we all have heritage, man. We all come from somewhere in this country, you know. And they do, like, when they say black and brown people, they try to. I mean, what brown people? Mexicans, Ecuadorians, Puerto Ricans, Brazilians, like, just, you know, they just try to wipe your heritage off. You know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
these people aren't saying that. These people aren't saying that. They're saying that their heritage is a group of people that never existed.
Well, they claim
They're
Choctaw.
saying that black people. They're saying that black African
yeah,
people.
I'm just talking
like
about.
us,
I'm talking about the whole, like, white people this, and then black people that, and then brown people. Like, dude, we have a heritage. All of us have a heritage and a lineage, man. We all come from. Like, I'm an Italian, and Wicked's. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're.
Yeah, I feel you.
It ain't nothing to trace your family history back to where you came from. You know what I'm saying? And where they just, like, black and brown people need to come together. Like, what brown, what brown people? Like,
Yeah, which ones?
you know, everybody's got a, like, Wicked. You know, if I just say, hey, Wicked, you're a brown person, he knows his heritage, man. That's insulting to him. Like when they say, shut up, white man. Like, dude, I'm an Italian, dude. Like, you know, I know my lineage, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard to. It's not that hard to find, man. And it's just another way of division and conquering, man. Like,
yeah, but
label an entire, and you're all white, but I mean, what am I? Am I Irish? Am I Norwegian? Am I German? Am I from Italian? I mean, what's, you know? Am I Polish? You know what I'm saying?
But one thing's for sure, for me personally, I'm most fascinated by crime, right? And then after crime, very intrigued by the pretendings because I just don't understand it. But you explain it. I think you explained it pretty well. But you're telling me that it doesn't, because yeah, well, you know what? I knew that shit already. Facts don't matter. Yeah, never mind.
no, don't matter at all. Salute to Boy Kachina, man. He says, Rock, I am emailing you 2 videos tomorrow. Watch them both, and more payments will be forthcoming. Shout out to you. Shout out to
The
Boy
Vikings. The Vikings.
Yeah, this is, and these are a bunch of people that never even developed their own area. Like, think about it. They made all this other shit, but then when you go to their area where they're, like, definitely stamped, where they're 100% of the population, there's nothing but rubble.
Yeah,
Nothing but rubble.
That's mind-boggling, man. It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
That says the ultimate form of self-hatred, doing your best to dress up like someone you are not. Yeah, Africa. If Africa was like Wakanda in the Black Panther, these motherfuckers would be claiming Africa like a motherfucker. And you know what lets me know that? Before the internet. So back in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, there was a big Afrocentric movement in America. Everybody wanted to wear dashikis and shit because you didn't know. You didn't know what was going on in Africa. There was no fucking internet. Like, you could, all you knew, you could be told the great story, the folklore about Africa. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the cradle.
Yeah, the cradle civilization, the great kingdoms and shit. All you knew was that. Now that you got the internet, you can see these fucking chigaboos over there living like fucking, it's 2,000, 3,000 years ago. You like, oh shit, man. Let me distance myself from that. These people suck.
Yeah, it's a mind fuck. Like I get everything you're saying, but it's still very incredible.
What's up, Bug Off? What's going on, man? Bug Off.
Hi. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I
What's up?
dropped in
The
there.
fuck
I just
is
want to
that?
explain my. Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just wanted to explain the comment that I made earlier. I'm sorry. Hang on a minute.
Go ahead.
What is this? Are you an Aussie?
Yeah.
Why'd you say that?
He's Australian.
How'd you know that?
You can't tell from his accent?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. What is it?
All right. So basically, the sooking in Australian means crying or blubbering, whining.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I didn't realize you guys didn't use that.
Mm-mm.
The other thing was.
But we gathered that part though. That part we gathered. The second
Oh,
part's
okay.
the one that maybe you could explain.
Well, I tried to explain it in the chat, but no one sort of paid attention. So, but more or less, basically, if you look at all the horrible shit that Soros has done over the years, all of those weaknesses existed before he came along, and just waiting to be exploited. Do you understand? So
You mean like the white guild, like the glider guilds?
yeah, and all of the other shit that he's done a lot of horrible shit. But if he didn't do that, that would still be an exploit that an enemy of your in your future can exploit. Does that make sense?
You talking
Anyway,
about
that's
like liberal judges, getting liberal judges and liberal DAs appointed all
Open
over the
borders.
Yeah, and look how aggressive he did it, and he's had an immune response, right? Look at Trump. That's the immune response. Anyway, I'm going to get off. That's all I meant.
Okay. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Have a good one.
We got salute to you, man. I know Mr. Philly think he a goddamn pretendian. You know he a fucking pretendian, man. Mr. Philly probably rocking to this shit. Mr. Philly probably was dancing when I played
No,
this
we
shit.
don't call ourselves Indian. See, there you go again. Misquote me, misunderstanding.
Bro, it's Melungeon, bro.
Melungeon. That's what I was about to say. Melungeons, man.
It's not
Mr.
that
Philly
either, because
rocking
I'm
to
out
this
of 3
shit.
ethnicities.
So what
No,
would
it's
you
not
call
that
it?
either.
What do you call it? Do you call it
What do you mean?
anything?
What would I call it? What my culture
Yeah.
is? What I grew up knowing?
Yeah.
Or what people will call it?
Well, what will you call it?
No, what is this shit? What is this shit? Like, what is this shit based on? Like, okay, you're Indian. How? Like how? Well, how do you
Yeah.
know? What's the solid facts? What is
Like, how
what
are
is
you
the bedrock
indigenous?
that this stands on? What does this stand on?
I don't know what that is. Some people believe that they are of what they consider indigenous to the Americas, the original Americans, which they
Yeah,
call
but what is that
quote them,
based
they
on?
call
Is
them
it based
Indians.
on ancestry
Well,
DNA? Because I know
they were
a
called
bunch
Indians,
of
but
people.
they have names prior to that, and the names have been switched around so many times.
Okay.
Okay, but here's the thing. I know a bunch of people that just started saying this shit out the blue.
Right.
You had never heard, like, you know them all
Never.
your life and shit, and now all of a sudden they talking about religion. What
I'm
is
Choctaw.
there two factions like that? Is it ones that been saying it, or is people that just hopping on the wave and shit?
Most definitely is. There's tons of people that have been saying that they're indigenous to this country prior to the internet.
So what do you think about Boone Shika with the blonde weave that just met some niggas who came home from jail and who read 3 books
Yeah,
in jail,
what languages do they?
and now she
What
wants some
languages?
shit.
Yeah, do they know the language? Do they know the culture? Do they know the traditions? Do they know the heritage? No,
What
possibly.
language do you speak?
I'm more than sure
What
they
language
don't.
do you speak? What language do you speak?
What languages do I speak? I speak several languages.
Okay, which one, man?
Which is the one that's indigenous to like your ancestors?
I grew up
What's the
learning
native?
bits and pieces of it.
Yeah.
Nothing major.
Is there like a word? Like, do they have a word for it? Like Spanish, you know, like we speak Spanish.
I speak a little bit of Spanish, but it's not the indigenous language.
Right. Well,
So
is there a name?
what is the indigenous language?
There were several different languages. I mean,
Nah,
people spoke in different tongues.
Okay, what's the name
People
of the
spoke in
several
many
one? Give
different
us
tongues.
Give us one. Throw us one.
And as far as what? As far as what?
Your
I'm
ancestors'
trying to get the
language, bro.
specifics here. As far as what?
Okay, your ancestors, right? What language did they speak?
What's the name of it?
Nikha.
Okay, and
Nigga.
Do you even know how to spell?
Yeah, it's spelled how it sounds.
Oh, no, there's not. No,
So this language.
I said Nikha.
Okay.
Nikha, not nigga.
So where does this language? Where does it derive from? Like, what region of the world did it come out of? Mississippi.
It was spoken in
Florida?
the Americas.
Mississippi.
But it's a lot of different Native Americans. They're very
Southern Americas.
Right, was Alabama?
Yeah, I mean, in different areas, different tribes spoke different languages. One common language that a lot of people just don't seem to understand that they spoke all over the planet. Well, two of them was Latin and the other was Hebrew.
So they spoke. The Native Americans spoke Latin.
This is how a lot of these colonizers, or what they call colonizers, were able to communicate with the indigenous people when they got here.
So you're saying that they spoke a common language? Because what the
Yeah,
history,
many of them spoke multiple languages.
because you know what the history books say,
It's not as common. Yeah,
the
it's not as
journals say
common
that
now.
they met people that
Say
they
that
don't
again.
say that. So you're saying that they spoke the same language? The people that came here and that were already here, they spoke the same language?
They spoke
Yeah,
Latin
many
and
of them
Hebrew.
did. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
those were the two main languages that a lot of them spoke.
So how did they end up speaking Latin and Hebrew if they was
Different parts of the
didn't have
world.
content with Latins and Hebrews?
Right.
And Latins didn't even speak Latin.
I'm
Like
sorry, say that again.
Latin
You
is
were
a
breaking
dead
up.
language. Latin is a dead language. Latin has been a dead language for thousands of years.
They call it a dead language, but you have an entire continent of people that speak it.
But it derived from Rome, didn't
That's
it?
why they
Didn't
why they tell you that it's a dead language, because a lot of the information is in Latin.
But how did the Native
They don't want you
Americans
to dig up that info.
How did the Native Americans over here? How come we've never heard that? How come you're the first person telling us that the Native Americans spoke Latin?
What is a Native American?
people with feathers that
What is the meaning of
smoke peace
what is
pipes?
the meaning of native?
The people that were here.
No, we're speaking in proper terms. We're not speaking when I speak about these things, I speak in proper terms. I don't speak in
Native Americans.
everyday.
Well, yeah,
I
would
don't speak in everyday terms.
Yeah, I would describe the Native Americans as like the Redskins, right? The people that look like the Redskins logo. You know, the Washington
Well,
Redskins.
native means nativity, which means flows through the mother. So you could be native to anywhere.
But now you're using like wordplay, because that's not what we're referring to.
Say that again.
Like
No,
you
that's
know what
not
we're talking
wordplay.
about.
That's the proper meaning of it.
Yeah, but
But
you
right,
know what
and
we
this is the
mean.
problem. Listen, this is what I'm trying to explain. This is the problem. When you don't speak in proper terms and you can't give dates and times and things of that nature, yeah, everything gets screwed up and nobody knows nothing from nothing. And we go off of hearsay and she say.
Oh, okay, let me ask you this then. Why do we understand history to show that the quote unquote Native Americans look like the Chiefs, the Washington Redskins logo? Why did they look like that? And not like
Some of them look like that. Some of them look like us. Some of them look like you. Some of them look like Caucasians. They look like many people, because this continent was inhabited with many different types of people. People have this misconception that it was one group of people. No, it was not.
But none of those groups was niggas.
There's records, and you can check for yourself. There's records of all types of people being here prior to 1942.
So why does the prevailing evidence not show that? The evidence shows them to look
Because
like
you're
the
going
Redskins
off
logo.
of what the masses say. That you're going off of their education. You're not
Yeah,
doing
but
the
no one else
research for
is.
yourself.
No one else is doing the research.
Yes, there
No one else
has.
is doing the
There's
research.
plenty. There's plenty of material. Scientists,
Yeah, but
archaeologists,
those
people that
niggas
have
ain't
been out
those
here.
niggas ain't archaeologists. Them niggas is jail niggas. Them niggas is niggas in jail that wrote books in
No,
jail.
I'm not talking. I'm talking about professors from universities. There's plenty of them out there. You just have to search for it for yourself and stop relying on what people are telling you via the internet.
I was one of the
People
books.
rely too much on the internet, and if you don't hear it on the internet, then it must not be true, or it must be true. We can't depend on the internet. What did I say the other day? They have shown and proved that 67% of the internet is what? Bots. Bullshit.
But the problem is the internet in this case, though. The internet is making people believe that they
Right.
were natives.
Right. Exactly my point.
But I read a book, right, about the conquistadores. They will keep journals, right? And this one part caught my attention. You're gonna like this part.
And did you know some of those
So-
conquistadors were a hell of a lot darker than we were?
The conquistadors?
Yeah, no, I never.
There's many of them. Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, let me tell you what one of the like the journals say, right? So a lot of the history from the Aztecs was gone, right? But some of it persevered. You know what the Aztecs described when they saw the Spaniards arriving? Like, they said they saw a bunch of pale-skinned men, right? Who they thought were gods because they never seen
Yeah.
that, right?
They're
And
attached to the horse.
and then they saw amongst them a few black men who were slaves, right? And you know how the Aztecs described these men? They described them as soiled gods. This is from like the historical documents, right? Soiled gods. Now I can't imagine they were trying to be disrespectful. They were just describing.
That could be a translation. That could also be the translation too.
Yeah, it could mean like like
Dark gods.
darker or like maybe they never seen someone dark and they're like that. They thought they were like dirty, right? Like soiled, covered in mud, maybe. I don't know, but they described it in a way that seemed like they never seen that before.
Right. And listen. When you talk about the conquistadors and shit, you're talking about people from the Iberian Peninsula, right? So those people are a mix of Arab and Iberians, right?
Berber. Yeah, so many different cultures.
One thing they're not is dark skin.
Right. No.
They're not black.
No.
Currently, they're not, because they've been,
No, even then
they were probably lighter back then.
No, then they were too.
They probably were lighter back then.
I don't. This shit gives me a headache talking about this shit. But let me move along though. Let me move along, man.
Well, anyway, I'm coming from the fight. Did y'all see that fight?
What fight?
I missed it. I heard he got a draw though. Tank 5.
What fight?
Draw.
Yeah, it was a draw. It was a draw. The boy Roach. Yeah, the boy Roach was giving it to him though.
I heard he lost. I heard David.
That's the dude from DC, right?
I don't know.
Tank
Roach.
Nah,
Roach. Well, Tank from Baltimore, but the other guy he was fighting from DC.
Yeah.
But they say
I think he is from DC. Yeah, Tank. Yeah, Tank technically lost, bro. He took a
But
knee.
they robbed Roach. Yeah, I heard they
Yeah, they
caught that
robbed him.
knockdown.
They robbed him.
That is crazy.
Oh, they robbed the guy. The guy was should have
They
won.
straight up robbed him.
Tank's
Yeah.
power. Tank didn't
Because look,
what?
and look towards the end of the fight, Roach was really giving it to him too.
Wow.
Wait,
Like
you
he
went to the
technically should have won that fight.
Tank's
at the
power
fight?
Say that
is
again.
so Tank's power is so strong, man. I'm surprised
Yeah.
he could take Tank's power, man.
Yeah, the ball was moving, man.
You know, Tank strikes me as someone that likes to kick it, you know? And in boxing, you really can't kick it like
Yeah,
that.
yep. I agree.
Well, he had a lot of legal trouble recently, man. He been having babies and being a superstar. He ain't been dedicated to his craft. He had a lot of distractions recently, as far as like a son man and shit. So yeah. Let's I may check that out later on. But yeah, that's salute to Roach, man. I know DC people is happy, man. 'Cause I thought Tank was unstoppable in that division because of his power. He hits harder than like they have weight classes for a reason, right? Because you know the power issue, but his power supersedes his division. So I'm surprised that guy must got a mean chin, man. Roach,
Yeah.
whatever his name is.
A draw really is a win for him, though. At the end
Yeah,
of the day.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
he could make money
Yeah,
off of this.
yeah.
I mean, I never seen him talk, but if he could like sell fights and talk shit, he could turn this into a good payday.
Yeah. Let's see this with this
Because
white
look,
guy.
when Tank took that knee, when he took that knee, man, people
he
was like,
knocked
"Whoa,
Tank down?
hold up."
Yeah, but they didn't count it.
Yeah.
They didn't count it though.
Yeah, they didn't count it. Yeah.
Oh
But
wow.
he took a knee though. I didn't see it, but I heard. Were you at the fight?
Yeah.
Or you went to go see the actual physical fight, or you were like at somebody's place?
Say that again.
Did you go to the fight or were you watching it at somebody's house?
No, I was there. I'm in New York.
Oh, nice. That's what's up.
Okay. So the fight is at Madison Square Garden?
I think Barclays, right?
The Barclays.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, it was at the Barclays.
Brooklyn, stand up. Biggie.
So tell me, you lived here for 30-something years. They're classifying this fire as a potential hate crime. What do you think about that?
I think that if people just stayed in their own side of town, their own neighborhood, that things like that wouldn't happen.
Tell me what you mean by that.
Well, every race and color has their own section of Buffalo almost. So if they just stay on their own side, things like this wouldn't happen. People in these neighborhoods don't want those type of people moving down here and ruining the property value and destroying the neighborhood. So when things like that happen, it shouldn't be such a shock.
What do you mean by those types of people?
Minorities, African Americans.
So are you suggesting that they should stay on the east side rather than coming here to South Buffalo?
Well, they've already wrecked the east side. Why should they come down to the south side and wreck that neighborhood?
Do you think that by saying these things, people on the other side of the city get offended? Do you think that there's some sort of a bias potentially?
A lot of people feel this way. They just won't say it.
But you are.
Yeah.
Why are you coming out and saying these things?
Because I own a home and I see what happens when they move into the neighborhood. Property value goes down, kids on the corner, crime goes up. The east side used to be a beautiful place. Look what they did to that.
Do you think that there's an issue though in what you're saying?
Well, I'm sure there is, but I mean, you got to take a look at why it's an issue.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, they just ruin neighborhoods.
I guess what I'm getting at is that you're generalizing tremendously. These people might have just been here looking for a different way of life, a better way of life.
Maybe people are afraid after you let one family in, then more of them come in. You know, that's just how it is around here.
you think there's anything wrong with what you're saying?
I don't feel there's anything wrong with it. A lot of people would feel wrong about it, but I don't.
He's very honest. Now, is this old? This got to be an old clip, right? This can't be recent, right?
No, it's recent.
Damn. That makes it that much crazier. I mean, look, what he's saying, I think sucks, but I think he's not wrong either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he being honest. Let him speak his mind. I respect it.
It sucks when you consider like the normal Sun people. You know what I mean? Act like the people that are not gonna destroy the neighborhood. It sucks to think about them, but with that said, even I mean, he already said it. He already said it. You know, what more can I say? You know?
I mean, he stood on it. The reporter was like, you could tell the little reporter was trying to like. The little reporter was racist too. He said, "Well, maybe they just want a better life. Like, why you always got to move to a white neighborhood to get a better life?"
Right. Do you remember the one video we saw from Baltimore? Like when it was like the first black family to move in, how they were like breaking his house and whatnot.
Yeah.
Think about that. I like those gliders saw the future. They were not wrong.
No, not at all.
Baltimore's a shithole.
Shout out to Rabbit Hole Reviews. He says, "Sons destroy everything they touch. Makes it hard for good sons." Yeah, but good sons ain't. Good sons is 1 degree separation from bad sons. So if you let good sons move in, it's like it's the same thing. Like they sons. That you think fucking good son, his cousin is like, and then when I say good or bad, it's just sons. Like when he said the point about kids hanging on the corner, the parents can't really do anything about that. The parents, the son parents can't really do anything about their kids hanging on the corner because it's the it's just what sons do. Sons parent different.
The parents are outside. The parents are on the corner too.
Yeah, it's normal for your kids to go hang on the corner. You know what I'm saying? It's normal for your kids to run with a mob and a gang because, like, that's just what they do. Like, it's if you want to say culture, you know what I'm saying? I'll even let you have culture. I won't even do DNA. If you want to say culture that they make that culture everywhere they go. Everywhere you go, sons have a very similar culture. Street life, the base of society, the bottom rung of society is where sons level off at. That's where we congregate, which is street life. Street life is the base of any society, the street.
I mean, look.
Yeah.
I mean, look. In Blackistan here, right on the west side, right. I've seen on like a Tuesday afternoon, right, 12 p.m., 11 a.m. I've seen like sons congregating between the ages of what would be like 11 to like 70 years old. Like literally, and everything in between, just hanging out, loitering, doing nothing. The 11-year-old should be in school, right? The adults should be at work, and the elderly, well, I guess they're 70. Who gives a fuck, right? They can hang out, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, facts. This is it's just like that guy right there. He stood on that shit, man. He said he got his own business, man. He is not employed by anybody.
Yeah, it makes me think he did it. The way he was like, like, damn, where were you at 12 o'clock, motherfucker?
Yeah, he stood on that shit. That was because I mean, like, You really can't. One thing about a black person, if a black person was there, they wouldn't argue anything he said. They would just call him names. So it's that's the thing that white people, if they were smart, they would the fact that like even a black person not gonna say you wrong, they just gonna say you racist.
Yeah, like you can't give an inch to these people.
Yeah.
You give them an inch, you're fucked.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Let me see this. I saved this.
Why is Maine so safe? Every year when the ranking
And that's like the whitest Dakota, right?
Why is Maine so safe? Every year when the
Thinking I got
rankings come
family
out,
with it.
Maine is always number 1, 2, or 3 for the lowest crime rate and the lowest violent crime rate in the United States. That isn't a new thing either. This has been a trend since before the Battle of Caribou in the mid-1800s. Ironically, that was a bloodless battle in 1838 between armed Canadian and British lumberjacks and a U.S. militia. Yes, long after the Revolutionary War, we had an axe to grind with the British. But this took place in or around Caribou, Maine. No one got hurt. Even their battles are non-violent. Now, this battle did have a couple casualties, so I shouldn't say it was bloodless. 2 black bears wandered into the lumberjacks' camp. When the lumberjacks shot at the bears, the U.S. militia thought it was directed at them and they returned fire. Nobody was hit. The 2 bears didn't make it. If you don't know, Maine is a state located in the northeast region of the United States in what we call New England. It is known for its rugged coastline, its fishing villages, and its amazing lighthouses. Besides its natural beauty and tourist attractions, Maine is where you want to live if you're looking for a nice, safe state to call home.
How long is it going to take this guy to get to the reason why Maine is so fucking...
Probably talk so long we'd all die. Talk for years and never get to the fucking point.
Salute to Bernie's book tour. He says, if you can have flat earth, then why can't we have being indigenous? All right, cool. That's fine. That's all right. I'll give you that. We can trade off. You can be a fucking pretendian and I'll be a flat earther. Deal? All right.
In this video, we will explore the reasons behind Maine's reputation as one of the safest states the U.S. has to offer. Got it? Get it? Good.
There's only one reason.
Right. I wonder if he's gonna say it. I doubt it.
There's only one reason. So you could already tell it's gonna be some bullshit if you talk about the reasons.
Take a look. There are 5 main reasons we should look at when we're talking about the...
What would this look like if this was a 35% Sun City? They would have had, it would have been what 10 shootings here in the last year. This is downtown, right? So this is downtown. There would have been mass shootings here.
It would have empty storefronts.
Can I ask you a quick question? When is this video from?
This video is from 1 year ago.
Okay. Because
crime in Maine, or lack of crime. Firstly, Maine has a relatively small population compared to many other states. They have just over 1.3 million residents, making it the 42nd most populous state. It's also ranked 39th in area. When you put those numbers together, that makes them the 38th in population density, with 43 people per square mile. That's not much.
And black people will say, well, that's when we live, we on top of each other. That's why we kill each other. But even in places when you're not on top of each other, you kill each other.
Right. Do you remember when we saw the correlation between commodities, like the lack of commodities,
amenities,
and that meant like there was like not that many Sun people for some reason?
Yeah.
I thought that was a very interesting correlation.
Yeah, I don't see no Target around here.
New Jersey's number 1. They have 1,263 people per square mile. Some of the other states that I know you're going to ask about: Florida has 402 for every square mile. Massachusetts has 901. California has 254 people per square mile, and that's a huge state. And yes, Alaska is the absolute lowest with 1.3 people for every square mile. Now, this helps give them a lower crime rate compared to the most populous states. According to the FBI's Uniform Crime Report program, Maine's crime rate in 2020 was 1,635 incidents per 100,000 residents, which is significantly lower than the national average of 3,450 incidents for every 100,000 residents. As I've always said, most problems come from having too many people living in close proximity.
So it's the population. Crime is about population.
Yeah.
Most problems come from people like this guy that lie.
You know, I was gonna say, if you were to get enough strong people in there, and crime would skyrocket inevitably, they would be at a loss to explain why they increased. They wouldn't know.
They
claim
would
they don't know.
socioeconomic. The sons is going to be poor, so they would say it was poverty.
It would be
Like-
everything. It would be everything but the some people behavior.
Yeah, like this is a pretty dense. This is a dense area. This looks like Patterson or fucking, you know what I'm saying, Buffalo or some shit. This right here, this area right here is dense enough to have a ghetto and have crime, and they don't have it.
More people means more problems. The second thing we need to look at, or secondly, Maine is known for its strong sense of community and social cohesion. Many towns in Maine are close-knit and residents tend to look out for each other.
Sir, that's you don't have that in black communities. Black communities don't even, you can kill a baby, you can shoot a baby in front of fucking 20 black people. The police show up 20 seconds later and nobody know nothing. Okay? Like this whole thing, like these are high trust societies. These are white people. White people create high trust societies. So of course you can look out for each other because you trust each other. It's simple as that. They trust each other. You can't trust niggas don't trust each other, rightfully so.
If you grew up in a small town or rural community, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That social cohesion and sense of community creates a culture of trust and accountability where people are more likely to report suspicious activity or crimes they witness. In big cities, you might see a crime happen directly in front of you, but you're on your way to Starbucks. And that's more important than reporting something or helping someone out. On top of all that, Maine has a...
even in the big cities, they're blaming the white people for not reporting crime.
Man, you know what? Some people call the cops like a mother flower. They do. They're always calling the cops, and
for themselves, but for them, like something that's affecting them personally.
Right? No, but nonetheless, they are reporting crime. In
Yeah,
that sense,
yeah.
right?
They're selfish, but they're not looking out for anybody. They're not looking out for anybody.
But what can you do? It's like you're like in a bowl with a bunch of holes in it, and you're like with a bucket throwing water out. It's like it's too much water.
Definitely. But the sons don't take care of the community. Like, if you ain't gonna see, you're not gonna see a son. Like say there's a big field like at the end of the block, right? And the grass is fucking 3 feet tall, and it's litter over there. No group of sons is gonna go over there, pick all the trash up, and cut the grass. It ain't because they don't own it. If that shit ain't, even if that shit was theirs, they probably wouldn't do it. But if say there was a playground, a dilapidated playground in the Sun community, the single mom's not gonna get together and go down there one Saturday morning with some bags and some pickers and pick all the trash up and all the needles up and fucking put some new mulch, go to Home Depot, get some mulch and shit, and you know what I'm saying, hose down the fucking slide and all that shit. They just gonna leave that shit the way it is forever and ever and ever. Press 1.
Damn.
and because they and the reason they probably gonna do it because they probably gonna think niggas gonna fuck it right back up, or it ain't mine. Fuck that. The city own that. I own that shit. That ain't my playground. That ain't on my property.
What would you do if you saw that scenario you just described? Right? What would you do? I'd pick it up. I clean.
Yeah. I go out every morning with a picker and pick because a lot of people trash be blowing them down the street because they don't put their lids on their trash can and shit. But here's the thing. Some people are. It's just the way they are. Like they. It just is what it is. But trying to deny it is the problem. Like if we just said, okay, yeah, some people they create low trust societies, and they create and they do a lot of crime, and crime creates poverty, not the other way around. It would be fine. Like it just is what it is. We lie about all these things. We lie about all these things. And that's where the disconnect happens. Salute to Don Rickles. He says, "Hi, whatever happened to brown sugar and that AP chick? Where's that Mira Massa dude? R.I.P. DVK. R.I.P. DVK. Mira Massa was here the other day. Brown sugar and AP, man. Brown sugar was here a couple months ago or something. She showed her
more recent than that.
AP switched sides on us, man. She on Chaotic Channel, man. She switched sides on us, man. Right? Don't she be over there?
I think AP likes to argue, and the hoteps for whatever reason don't want to talk to you, Chief.
Yeah. Oh nah, yeah. This ain't a hotep friendly channel. We only got one hotep, one resident hotep, Mystic Philly, man. He speak nigga.
I ain't no damn hotep.
You speak nigga.
No, he's
high rate of
indigenous.
community involvement in local government and civic affairs, which foster.
Look at this. Listen to the things they say. And these are all things that white people do, because even in DC, if you go to a neighborhood, we got these things called advisory neighborhood commissions. They're like below the city council. So these people like are in charge of like smaller areas than the city council person. And they have meetings at the at local schools or libraries every like once in a while, and they discuss like is this store going to get a liquor license, or is they going to put a stop sign right here because there's a lot of accidents at this intersection. So little stuff like that, right? Smaller level stuff, civic stuff. And whenever I went to one of those advisory neighborhood commissions, and I'm talking about in fucking neighborhoods that are notorious, where sons, like the neighborhood is known for sons being violent and like you can't walk around at night. You know what I'm saying? And fucking 3 o'clock is kids fighting, after school all the time and shit, and trash everywhere. Everybody in there is white. Everybody in the neighborhood commission is white. It's just the white people from the neighborhood that you might see walking their dogs, or you see them coming home from work or something. They're the ones at those meetings, and no niggas is there. And that's in fucking DC, Chocolate City. So of course, so that lets you know that what they're saying about these white people is race.
If you grew up in a small town or rural community, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That social cohesion and sense of community creates a culture of trust and accountability, where people are more likely to report suspicious activity or crimes they witness. In big cities, you might see a crime happen directly in front of you, but you're on your way to Starbucks. And that's more important than reporting something or helping someone out. On top of all that, Maine has a high rate of community involvement in local government and civic affairs, which fosters a sense of responsibility among the residents. It's like they've got a vested interest in their town, in their state. So basically, they care more about their communities. Now, the third thing, or thirdly, if you want to use proper English grammar, Maine has a relatively low poverty rate compared to other states. Poverty can be a significant factor in driving crime rates. Individuals...
See, he just lied right there. Crime creates poverty, not the other way around. Poverty doesn't create crime.
living in poverty are more likely to engage in criminal activity as a means of survival and to escape whatever circumstances they're in. Human beings are like that and goes all the way back to when we were living in caves and following the herds. If you can't survive, you start taking more risks, traveling further distance, things like that. It's just a thing we have in our DNA that makes us do things to survive or get out of the situation we're in. Maine's poverty rate in 2020 was 9.4%, which is lower than the national average of 11.8% during the same time period. That suggests that residents in Maine have better access to basic necessities.
Right. Oh, shit. What's going
That's
on,
creepy.
Pantheon? What are your thoughts, Pantheon?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Well, I think with the last thing he just said, poverty doesn't necessarily create crime either. It's still mentality whilst you're in poverty.
Yeah.
Necessities such as food, housing, and healthcare, reducing the likelihood that they're going to turn to criminal activities to get things paid, to be fed, and to take care of themselves. And I know someone's going to leave a comment where you don't have to turn to crime, you just got to work harder. That's obvious, and that's common sense. But we're talking about human beings, and human beings don't always follow the logical course of action. So basically, if you have a lot of poverty, you're going to have some crime. I'm not talking bad about people that are living in poverty. I'm just telling you a statistical fact. The fourth thing we got to look at, or fourthly doesn't sound like it's a real word, but it is. Anyway, the fourth thing that keeps the crime rate down in Maine is Maine has a strong law enforcement system that prioritizes community policing and preventative measures. They're not reactionary.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They're not reactionary because they don't have fucking niggas protesting them every time they have Black Lives Matter. They don't have niggas complaining about police all the time. So they don't have to be reactionary. The police department can just police. It's because they only have they only have white people there. They don't have to worry about, you treating these people different because they're this race. You're treating these people different because they're that race. You can't have a strong police force in a black community. Black people they ruin everything. So police forces are a thing. So they ruin it. And the way they ruin it is by constantly complaining, constantly chipping away at it over the years, taking this away from the police, taking that away from the police, eroding the trust in the police, eroding the public, teaching their kids to not trust the police and not obey the police, and they just attack the police department at every fucking angle. So in Maine, you're not gonna have that.
A word, but it is. Anyway, the fourth thing that keeps the crime rate down in Maine is Maine has a strong law enforcement system that prioritizes community policing and preventative measures. They're not reactionary. They're really focusing on preventative measures. Just about every process from military to medicine to policing should be done that way, trying to fix the problem before it happens. Keep in mind, Maine doesn't have an overwhelmingly large police presence. They have 410 law enforcement employees per every 100,000 residents. Now, it's just not the officers on the streets. That's the people that stand behind them, clerks, dispatchers, things like that. Give you an example.
Why do you think they don't need a lot of police officers?
There's not that much poverty.
Right. Like
somebody needs to ask him, if these things are true and they work, why don't other areas do them?
Yeah. Why does Chicago just cut down their police officers since that's what makes Maine safer? They don't have a lot of police around.
I mean, for one, this guy's never lived around sons, I would bet. And secondly, he wouldn't have any good, explanation to describe why it is that things are so vastly different in different demographics on the country.
I bet this guy did live around sons. I bet may have gone to one of those northeastern cities and college, because he may have gone to college in fucking somewhere in the northeast, one of those liberal colleges that are in one of those black cities.
I highly doubt it.
And he may have seen black. The fact that he's lying doesn't mean that he hasn't been around blacks, as we know from liberals.
Well, I mean, he might be in a vicinity of them at parts of the day or something, but he's not like in a room full of them, immersed in the culture nonstop.
Yeah, no, because he would, if that lets you know once you get there, once you just sit in a room of black like teenage to young men, like if you sit, let's say just say you in a room like a waiting room or something at a office or something where, and you the only white guy and like everybody else is black. And they, just file, some coming in, some leaving, and you see like, damn, all these dudes have on like $100 tennis shoes. All of these dudes have on like, I guess pricey name brand jeans and jackets, but they wear them in a kind of different way, disheveled kind of way. The pants are sagging, the jackets are, hanging off of them or whatnot, and they're very this whole brother thing that I hear about. None of them are speaking to each other. They all looking at each other, cockeyed and shit, and smell like weed, and they're kind of rude and like if you around blacks, you gonna see all the bullshit, the mainstream community. You would never get a sense of, you would never walk away saying that's a community. Even though you hear community 1,000 times a day when the black community, you go around some black, you would never walk away saying, oh, those people are communal. They take care of each other. They work together. No, these motherfuckers are fucking goddamn, everybody's out for themselves. Everybody's a mercenary. But that's true. If you were actually around blacks, none of the propaganda could last an hour.
An example of some other states, New York has 627 for every 100,000 residents. Maryland has 615. Virginia has 593. And at the other side of the coin, you got Oregon with 281 for every 100,000 residents. Utah has 295. So they're not just flooding the street with cops to keep the crime rate down. They obviously have some good programs, good people, and a lot of well-trained police officers or state troopers or deputy sheriffs, whatever they have out there. Just talking law enforcement. And now we get to the last major factor in Maine's low crime rate: geography and climate. Maine's geography and climate play a big part in the low crime rate. The state's rural nature and harsh winter weather can deter a lot of criminal activity. Outside of major cities, when you look at, towns, smaller cities, crime rates drop drastically during cold weather. According to the Bureau of Justice and Statistics, almost all types of personal and household crimes are more likely to occur during the warmer months of the year. Statistical studies show uniformly that crimes against property drop slightly in the winter months, and crimes against persons go up drastically in the summer months. Another statistic showed that violent crime rate rose on average 6% on days when the temperature was above 85 degrees. So you're safer in cold weather from other humans. Got to watch out while you're fishing in Maine, though. I watched a documentary one time, and a local guy said that there had been more than a few assaults down at the lake because of muskie exaggerations. In case you don't know, muskies are fish, and I guess a lot of people like to tell tall tales about them. Now, it's not just the weather patterns that help keep the crime rate down in Maine. The rugged terrain and dense forests can also make it more challenging for criminals to navigate and evade law enforcement. This, as you can imagine, makes Maine a less attractive target for criminals who may prefer more urban or temperate.
Yeah, I hate this guy.
This motherfucker really said, man, there's mountains. The criminals, they know them, they can't get through the mountains. Like, shut the fuck up, bro.
And he also said there was good people there. and we know that they're not sons.
Wow.
No criminal has sat there and said, man, there's just too many mountains around here. There's no way I'll get away with this.
I'm telling you, man. And black crime isn't really like that. A lot of black crime is like us down here. We hang out, and those niggas down there hang out, and maybe we go to the club, and there's an incident at the club. And of course, with black people, there's never an incident at the club that just stays at the club. So now we find out where they live, and we go through, slide on their neighborhood and shoot at them, and that's a shooting. You know what I'm saying? And then they retaliate, and then that's another shooting. Those are two crimes. Black crime is just very unique. You know what I mean? It's almost impossible to stop. You know, because the crimes are like just okay. A black dude is he's beefing with some other black dude, so he's riding around with a gun. He gets pulled over. They find the gun. That's a crime. He's a felon without he's not supposed to carry a gun. Shit like that. Black people, they don't have their license. You know what I'm saying? Don't have insurance. Don't have
road rage.
Yeah. Don't have registration, car registration. Those are the crime is everywhere.
Right, like somebody's staring at you. Now you gotta kill them.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody looked at you, and yeah, you have to kill them. Yeah, exactly.
I always loved what we said here, Ak, about the Minority Report. How hilariously racist it will be in real life.
Oh yeah, it would be one that I would be in jail. I thought about killing a nigga last week, man. Seriously, I would definitely be in jail, man.
Oh, I for sure would for my Juice Crew stuff.
You said what?
I would for sure be in jail for my Juice Crew stuff.
Right.
Dude, they would put me under the jail.
You'd be in jail
They would put me in a Nazi uniform, beat me to death with a dreidel, and put me under the dreidel.
Wow. Bugging, yo.
Then they would make a movie about how I was the most violent, degenerate SS officer that ever lived, and I just ate babies alive and blah blah blah.
Damn.
Wow.
Criminals to navigate and evade law enforcement. This, as you can imagine, makes Maine a less attractive target for criminals who may prefer more urban or temperate environments. It's kind of hard to snowshoe a TV and 2 laptops away from a house.
So he's saying that people in Maine criminals don't go to Maine because it's not dense and it's not a dense area. I bet we can find an area where let's find out where the Suns are in Maine.
And they would be like tethered sons too, right? From what I understand, or would it be FBAs?
No, you got sons up there. Like I said, I got family up there.
In Maine?
Yup.
How did you been up there?
It's sons up there. It's not much, but it's definitely some up there. And here recently has been an increase of more sons up there. And most of them are like professionals and shit like that. They don't cause problems for the most part, but yeah, they're there.
Yeah, they're actually dumping a lot of Somalians
The
up there,
2020 census shows that black people
and they're causing problems.
Yikes! Yeah, they definitely gonna cause problems.
Yeah, it's an
The
increase.
2020 census shows that black people make up just over 12% of Maine's total population, and a smaller black population makes something as simple as access to proper hair care difficult to find. But Rai Wooten shows us why having access to the right hair care is so important.
When we talk about self-care, hair care is self-care. Stylist Angela Okafor says hair is linked to how people
It's a
view
Nigerian.
And you know the saying that our hair is our crown, you know, so it's beyond just the fashion, it's more identity.
Her clients are relieved when they find out she's based right in Bangor.
Some people call me and they're like, "Oh my goodness, are you in Bangor?" And I'm like, "Yes." "Oh my goodness, you know, I've been going to New York, or I've been going to, you know, Boston."
Lack of accessibility to hair care is even a conversation the University of Maine's head basketball coach has with his players.
It's just something that we touch on pretty early in the process because it tends to come up. And once you have guys up here, is where can I get a haircut?
Black men and women are forced to wait for limited appointments with few barbershops and beauty shops available in the area, or drive 25 miles or more away.
A lady reached out to me and she was like, her son was going for a very serious procedure, and she was like, all he asked of is to get his hair done, you know. And I mean, I couldn't even talk about anything. I was like, okay, like, you know, it wasn't, I had to do the hair on a day I don't work.
Jordan Guy works for Brick City Barber in Brewer. He says there's a lack of effort to create more access to Black hair care.
I'm not going to say that areas of Maine are stuck in kind of old habits or old school habits, but I do think there needs to be a willingness to adapt and kind of draw more people to those areas. I don't think it's necessarily a priority.
So this is very crucial and important, not just to community building, but also to, you know, retaining people here, which is what we really, really need in this area.
Diversity is needed, even for something as simple as hair care.
I don't want anybody to feel like excluded or, you know, that a barbershop isn't like inclusive, like no matter who.
Raya Wooten, News Center, Maine.
Coach Markwood says there are more options.
I don't think you need to say diversity is needed. I mean, it's a white population area. If you open an Afro hair care, you do it. Someone else may do, and competition, you know, may start. The whole thing of, oh, they were so thankful. Like, it happens. You have to kind of work your way around it. But it's just the expectation that you go to the
What's up,
whitest
everybody? This is
area
Jose
and
from
say,
Silver Line.
oh, I need diversity. There's nothing here for me. I mean, state the obvious.
Yeah, I mean, why would somebody open up a business that's not going to make any money? If you Black people need to do your hair, why not like have like a network, like a like somebody who does hair, somebody who cuts, traveling barbers, traveling things like that. Like, I mean, it's not enough people to support having a business like that, man. You're not gonna make any fucking money. But even if you do that business, I would hate to be the business next to that business. Let's see this. Okay, here we go.
IHOP says they have zero tolerance for discrimination after a Maine waitress reportedly asked a group of Black teenagers to pay up front for their meal. The Auburn restaurant says they've had.
But why would that waitress ask them to pay up front?
Because they had problems in the past.
Exactly. But the implication is that it's only because they Black. No one ever thinks that it's because they had problems in the past.
Well, it just so happens that those people that caused the problem were Black.
Wow.
It's as simple as that, man. You can't listen. You can't get no plainer, man. Because people need to just get out of this bullshit and just be real.
Jesus Christ, man.
They've had problems with teens walking out without paying, but the restaurant says the waitress's actions were wrong. The chain says Tuesday's incident was isolated. They're also reaching out to the teens to apologize and are closing the location for tomorrow for training.
Wow. So they lose out a whole day in business for some BS.
Oh, shit, man. Oh my God. Is this Portland, Maine, or is this Portland? The Black Nod film, A Love Letter to Black Portland. Is that Black Portland, Oregon, or Portland, Maine?
Might be Portland, Maine. You got a lot of people from New York.
Last night, we were the only show in all of cable news to bring you the story of hundreds upon hundreds of Congolese immigrants being dropped off in San Antonio after crossing the border. But for many of them, that is not the final stop. San Antonio's assistant city manager, Dr. Colleen Bridger, revealed this to a local CBS station. Quote, "The plan was 350 of them would travel from San Antonio to Portland, as in Portland, Maine. When we reached out to Portland, Maine, they said, please don't send us any more. We're already stretched way beyond our capacity." Now, why would Portland be beyond their capacity? Well, I want to take you back to January of this year when Maine's new governor, Janet Mills, gave her inaugural address.
We welcome the voices of newcomers also to the public conversation. The young, the immigrants, people of different cultures, all are important members of the Maine family. From now on, yes, a sign will greet all those arriving in our state, and it will say simply, welcome home.
Isn't that nice? Well, in Portland alone, asylum seekers who are primarily from African countries make up 90% of the people living in the city-run family and overflow shelters. But back to today. When the San Antonio city manager's request to Portland was turned down, well, the response was jarring. Quote, "We're working with them, the migrants, now to identify other cities throughout the United States where they can go and begin their asylum seeking process." Well, where are these migrants going to be dropped next? Well, it's anyone's guess. But the fact that two cities in two states, thousands of miles apart, are both at capacity should be alarming for all Americans. Now, we reached out to officials in Portland, Maine, and received the following response from a city councilor. Portland is proud to be a welcoming city for all Americans and those seeking to become Americans. At the same time, no city of 67,000 people can possibly manage the entire nation's immigration situation on its own. Wow. We are going to continue to follow this story and others like it and bring you updates, since apparently no one else will.
This period of history has to be looked upon as a fever dream. Like it's just so insane.
Well, there was a Juice Crew guy who wrote in a book. I was trying to remember his name many years ago. How they could do exactly this by funneling money, taxpayer money, into these NGOs, and then creating, a network of shelters for these people to get them to all these different parts of the country. It's all about hating white people.
Yeah, no, of course. But just like from Congo to
Earlier this week, we told you about
But the reason I say that is because most people don't know that. This is just the manifestation of Jews running your State Department.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, we told you about a study. It found that police in Portland are disproportionately arresting and pulling over more black people than white people. It was a study commissioned by Portland's police department.
South Portland also commissioned one, and data from that indicates they are experiencing a similar disparity. News Center Maine's Jack Molmud breaks down the data and has reaction from South Portland's chief of police.
New data revealed from a research project by Northeastern University and the University of Southern Maine shows that black people in South Portland are being pulled over and arrested at a far higher rate than their white counterparts. This is part of a study into the general arrest and traffic stop data. The first half of the report was released the other week, focusing on the city of Portland's police. It also showed similar disparities.
Maine's exceptional status, that Maine's not like the rest of the country. Maine is different. Maine is better, essentially. Well, it turns out Maine is very similar to the rest of the country.
Michael Kebede with the ACLU of Maine says he read through all of the data and says he's not surprised.
I'm quoting to you directly from the report. The analysis did not find statistical evidence of bias-based policing by members of the Portland Police Department. This does not mean such incidents do not happen. It's truly difficult to find another reason that explains such a dramatic disparity.
In the data, the top three key findings are summarized. Number one, black residents in South Portland account for 3.5% of the population, but make up for 15% of all arrests. Another is that 10% of all arrests by South Portland were of people experiencing homelessness.
Possibly
Why
one of
would
the
you go
most
to
jarring
Maine to
pieces
be
of data
homeless?
collected from the Northeastern NUSM report on traffic stop.
Like, it's so ridiculous to me, because if there were zero some people in Maine, let's say 2024, and then 2 come in 2025 and 1 is arrested, doesn't that put the Sun statistics up by 100% if they were arrested?
Yeah, but also
Exactly.
too, but here's the thing though, it's not that. It's like thousands of them coming in as the
Yeah,
last
exactly. So from 0 to 1,000, of course, it's going to go up exponentially, and it's going to be, oh my gosh, what happened in the past 12 months that so many some people are being arrested? Like it's very obvious. They weren't there before. Now they're there, and as you said, it's going to be all the stupid things as well: tinted windows, broken taillights, suspended licenses, just all these things that gliders may do, but it will be such a rare occasion for them to do it in comparison to all the Sun people who just moved in. Because just because they move states doesn't mean they suddenly improve, as you said, their social contract. It's exactly the same.
Wow, it's just crazy, man. When black people show up somewhere, they gonna get arrested more than anybody. I mean, the things they do, the things we do. Like, just think about the things we do. We just, you're gonna get arrested for that shit more. Like, it's crazy, man, that people have to deal with this shit and have to. All white town has to now question, like, are we all racist?
Yeah,
Are we
and then
all
you have
racist?
an East African saying, "Oh, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous." Well, why don't you check your people?
Can I ask you guys a question? In all honesty, if we stop, not maybe, but do you think if we stop labeling ourselves these terms such as black, white, blah blah blah, that maybe these statistics may change? This is just something I thought about at work.
No, not at all. I mean, you had to
No.
label this people something that are committing all these crimes. I mean, if we got rid of these
I'm just saying.
labels, then who's committing the
If
crime?
you look at, no, I'm just saying. What if? I'm not saying, like it has to be an exact thing. I'm just saying, like, what if we got rid of these terms where we just didn't label? I'm just
But it
fantasizing.
would
Maybe
it,
that
it
this
would
may
The
happen.
it
terms
wouldn't
don't
stop.
change DNA.
Exactly, it wouldn't stop. It would just be suddenly main drivers can't drive at all. They're just getting arrested on the road. Like it wouldn't change the actual arrest. It's just we can't actually label who it is, but everyone would know.
Yeah, that was my point. Okay.
But you know what though? I could do with getting locked up for stupid shit, right? My issue arises when they're out here putting guns in people's faces and hurting people and beating them and
Facts.
deleting them. That's where my problem arises. Like, if don't get me wrong, you should have a valid fucking license. You should have insurance.
That's what I was going to say, Wicked. It was like driving, valid license,
You
your
should
car,
have that.
MOT,
I
everything
can live with that.
standard.
I can live with that shit. My fucking problem is the violent crime that they engage in.
The useless violent crimes. You know what I mean? Just ridiculous,
Right, senseless shit.
over the top. Shit boils my blood, man.
Yeah, man. And then they always complaining about shit. They come to a town and first thing they do start fucking whining.
Of all arrests by
Right,
South Portland were of
crazy.
people experiencing homelessness.
Possibly one of the most jarring pieces of data collected from the Northeastern NUSM report on traffic stop data shows that.
What's up, man? Monkey? I ain't see you down there. What's your thoughts, man?
Hey, well, I'm from Maine originally, so see, the problem started back with Obama because he put about 800 Somalis right in the middle of the state, and that threw Lewiston, Auburn into a fucking nightmare for the next, 20 years. Now, the ones they're having problems with now, all they're doing is following the social benefits because Maine doesn't have a limit on them. There's no time limit you can be on social services in Maine.
Oh, wow.
So they're all coming up from New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut.
Wow.
And most of the troublemakers are American. They're not imports and immigrants from Africa and shit.
Oh, so y'all have a large Sun, American Sun population, or
It's
a small one?
It's probably about 10% more than when I left, which is a huge increase over,
10%. Yikes.
Yeah. That's a huge increase for a small state.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. That's insane.
And,
Wow.
the courts were very liberal and let them get away with shit.
I thought it
They've
would've been worse.
never lived around them before. So they believe all the, they're disadvantaged. They're underserved. It's racism. And no, it's behavior.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
Remember the other governor? We covered it years ago when he said, Pookie and Ray Ray.
Oh yeah, what was his name? Yeah, impregnating all the white girls. Yeah. What's his name? Because I want to find that clip. What's his name?
Oh God.
Damn, yeah, I remember him, man.
And he was 100% correct. I mean,
yeah, he said, I remember that shit. Oh, here it is. Here it is.
Yeah.
I found it. Let me show you.
Yeah.
And
he was 100% correct, man. He called it.
Yeah, this shit was funny. This shit was hilarious.
The main.
Oh no, that's the short one. Let me see the whole. Okay.
Probably the proof that he's racist one.
The Maine Governor Paul LePage, who has endorsed New Jersey Governor Chris Christie for president, is under fire for this remark he just made about drug dealers.
Now, the traffickers, these are people that take drugs. These are guys that are named D-Money, Smoothie, Shifty, these type of guys come from Connecticut, New York. Come up here, they sell their heroin, then they go back home. Incidentally, half the time they impregnate a young white girl before they leave. Which is a real sad thing, because then we have another issue that we got to deal with down the road.
No comment yet from Chris.
Hey, keeping it
Honey,
all the way
listen,
real.
how true is this? Because that's what the hell happened in Burlington. I was just talking to my homie the other day, and I don't know if y'all remember when I said I stayed up there with him for a couple of years. I mean, it was beautiful. Now he said it's the fucking pits.
Burlington, where?
It's 100% what happened.
Burlington, Vermont.
100% what happened. Yeah.
Wow.
He said it has went to the shitter.
Damn. Yeah, but natural disaster, like a mudslide, right? You can't get mad at the mudslide. You know what it does.
Crazy, right? He went up there to go to school, and this was like the early 80s when he went up there to go to school, and he's been up there ever since. And yeah, man, he's just like, yo, it just went to shit.
He love it up there though, right?
He said he's ready to move now.
Those people up there aren't ready for this.
Yeah,
You're talking about people who still don't lock their doors.
Exactly.
Leave their cars running while they run into the supermarket in the wintertime.
It's like they're Trojan horsing themselves in a way.
It was a whole culture shock for me when I saw that.
Wow. You go to a town, yeah. a white area, and then you run upon the area where there's nothing but a bunch of suns. And he said then we have a problem in the future because that sun, that little beige demon that son left behind
Melangen.
is going to be raised by a fucking a single mother, and he's going to grow up to be a fucking piece of shit too.
My black
Boy,
son.
and she's
my
going to be
black
on
son.
welfare.
Yeah, definitely. She's gonna be welfare. He's gonna grow up to be a piece of shit. Yeah, and she's gonna be running around talking about she got a black son.
Okay, you look up Maine news and look at people arrested for running drugs, and they all from New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and 90% of them black.
Facts.
Yeah. And everyone knows it too. Everyone knows it.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And all the church groups and all are importing all the freaking immigrants, which is another issue altogether, because housing's real short up there, like real short.
Like I said, it's a plan put in place decades ago, orchestrated by Jews.
They said it straight out. They want to darken the state. That's their goal.
These are people that take drugs. These are guys that are named D-Money, Smoothie, Shifty, these type of guys that come from Connecticut, New York. They come up here, they sell their heroin, then they go back home. Incidentally, half the time they impregnate a young white girl before they leave, which is a real sad thing, because then we have another issue that we got to deal with down the road. So if I slipped up and used the wrong word, I apologize to all the Maine women, because it was not meant to isolate any one person. There's another, you could probably, if you really listen closely in that tape, you could probably find 10 areas, 10, 15, 20 words I used that could have been used. Another word could have been better used. I'm not going to deny or apologize for that. That's who I am. You can take the kid off the street, but you can't take the street out of the kid. And that's a fact of life. And I've lived with that. Believe me, I've been criticized for that for many, many times.
And he's got a adopted black son.
Overshadow the fact that my mission and
He's got adopted black. That don't mean shit, because sons, black people don't care about none of that. Words are so words. When you got low IQ, words mean way more than actions.
Not only that, but that doesn't make him a good person either. It makes him a fucking retard and a cuck.
No doubt. But what I'm saying is that, like, if you're raising a black person in your home, you obviously aren't someone who can't stand black people. That's all.
That makes sense.
I'm not saying it's right or anything, but like to make it seem like he can't stand the sight of black people. Why would he raise a black person? Why would he be a referee, a basketball referee, a basketball coach, a CEO? Why would you do any of these, a cop, if you can't stand the sight of black people? Why would you be a bus driver? Public transportation. Why would you do any of these things? Why would you be a mortician? Why would you be like any of these things? Why would you work at a free clinic if you can't stand the sight of black people? There's so many things you can do if you can't stand the sight of black people. There's so many professions you can get into. Yeah, he's a great man. Salute to this man. This is a great man, man. God damn it. Let's see what else I got here. I got some other stuff here that I had saved. Oh yeah, let's see this one.
Jamie, pull that video up.
So you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You have the right to remain silent.
The officer performed a search on the defendant, locating a 9mm Glock 19, and the defendant advised he bought the gun from a friend for $150.
Hi, Judge. Is this young man charged with unlawful carrying of possession for being under 21?
Correct.
Hold on, I got a kit. But here's a GPS memo saying that it's unconstitutional.
You know, representative gentlemen.
Oh, hell yes. Here's the Fifth Circuit saying that it's unconstitutional. Here is the United States District Court, Northern District, saying it's unconstitutional. Here's a motion to quash information. I'll just cross out the name.
Great job.
Yeah, I had to get in this fight yesterday, and I'm teed up.
Look, you got to be very careful. You know, God forbid something happens where you really dig yourself a hole. I'm going to find no probable cause, but really, you have to be very careful. You know, sometimes you make a decision in life and it can really have consequences.
He just made that decision, you asshole.
Yeah, that dude's just like, so you let me go or not? Cool. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Cool.
Right. And this is how these woke DAs and judges, or this guy's not a DA either, defense lawyer, but these woke lawyers and these woke judges, like, they feel good about doing this stuff. And okay, like, that's not your job. Your job is to not to like try to like let black people off. Your job is to just by the book,
enforce the law.
Yeah, enforce the law.
Well, these guys, these attorneys are getting taught this stuff. Like, this is the dogma in their schools now.
Mm-hmm.
When they go to law school, it's not about, you know, learning the law. It's about woke bullshit.
Yeah.
I had a friend just go through graduate school, and his wasn't law related. It was business related. And all his curriculum material, or a huge percentage of it, was related to fucking feminism and you know, diversity.
Wow. This is what
these people come out of these schools and they have no fucking idea what the hell, like, how to function as a rational person.
Let's see.
At midnight, I would get a shower. And as I'm getting in the shower, I see someone standing, you know, but I don't look. And I hear, "Hey, player." He calls me player. I'll never forget this. I'm like, "Oh, what's up?" He goes, "You might want to do that a little bit later." I said, "Do what? Shower?" I go, "Listen, man, I just got off of work, man. I'm going to shower now." He goes, "Hey, player, you might want to do that a little bit later." I said, "Hey, listen, man, I'm not going to do it a little bit later." So then he says, "Hold up." So when he says that, like, I turn to look. He's got a guy against the wall, and he has to actually take 3 steps to back out of the guy. As he's backing up, of course, I glance and I'm like, "Holy sloth." And you said, I grabbed everything. It's like I was moving in reverse, putting my clothes back on as I back out of the shower and haul ass. Yes, I've seen some clapping, but I really didn't see the clapping. I just saw the exit of the clapping.
On to at 6 tonight, the family of a man shot and killed while riding an ATV in Winter Garden is now speaking out.
Said that dude had to take 3 steps to back out of homie. Shit.
At midnight, I would get a shower.
Crazy,
as I'm getting in the
man.
shower, I see someone.
That's crazy. That's scary, man. Why would anybody want to go to that place, man? Man, that's what I mean. There's a lot of that going on down there, man. Man, that's why I was like, yo, that shit is crazy. Dudes spend a lot of time in there, man. A lot of fucking time in that place, man. Like, why the fuck you keep going there? Why do you keep going there, man? Stop going there. It's starting to scare me, bro. You keep going there, man. Any final thoughts, man? Any final thoughts from anybody?
Oh, I just want to echo what people said, that yesterday's show, I caught up with it yesterday afternoon, was really good.
Oh yeah, definitely. Salute, man.
And I wanted to ask Rudy if he caught a fish in his competition.
Oh, Rudy. Oh yeah, Rudy said you invited down to the ranch anytime, man. He said he's gonna pay for your plane ticket too, man. Yeah, man. Same black time, same black channel. Out of here. Subscribe.